Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm so close I could taste sweet victory. I know this life meant for me.
Adam, what's your point? The future looks bright.
My handshake is better than anything I ever saw. It's right here.
You are a one-of-one?
My son's right there.
I don't think I've ever said this before.
All right, folks, got some bad news for you. Apparently, word got out that Nancy Pelosi is going to retire next year.
What?
Yeah.
No.
I didn't want to break it to you
Wait,
like
she's
that.
still alive?
Serious?
No, she is next year as the greatest trader of all time in the history of Congress.
Oh, my gosh.
I think Wall Street's probably going to recognize her for her ability to get access to information that others couldn't. Her due diligence and research capabilities are second to none. And you know what? She was able to do it while staying ethical, allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyways, again, I hate doing this. I hate starting the podcast with bad news, but I had to do it.
She's at 26% since
we were on
July
such
1st.
a
By the
high.
way, her portfolio that Tom has invested $50,000 in, just to see how great of an investor she is, since July, not for the year.
I was with him when he started it.
What's the rate of return since July?
26.2% since July 1st.
And by the way, listen, forget Warren Buffett, forget all these guys.
Who's
She's the
that?
GOAT. I don't think she gets enough credit. But
Where's the market been since
Trump
July
calls
1st?
out. Trump calls out Mamdani's very angry acceptance speech. Warren's communism never worked anywhere. Jeffrey Epstein claimed. You ready for this one, folks? Maureen Comey, the daughter of James Comey,
Weird.
would let Epstein free if he implicated Trump.
Also, the dossier didn't work, and so let's see if we can
That's
get a
right.
felon.
The ex-cellmate
Get somebody to rat,
Pelosi calls Trump the worst thing on the face of the earth while she's getting ready to retire. Trump says Mamdani should reach out to him, has to be a little bit respectful of Washington. CNN anchor pushes back on liberal critics. My job is not to take down Trump. You will not believe who that is, who said something like that. Top Trump political advisor says president will focus on affordability going forward. Marjorie Taylor Greene tells allies she's running for president in 2028 as firebrand reinvention gains momentum, and Tom has some insight on that. FAA, you ready for this one? Slashing 10% of U.S. flights in 40 major cities as historic government shutdown drags on. Governor Senator Kennedy to introduce bills to withhold pay from lawmakers during government shutdown. Mamdani wants more money less than 24 hours after getting elected. Vinny's got some thoughts on that one. Yeah. Charlemagne tells Van Jones to shut up over Mamdani's speech criticism. And he said it like that, apparently. Families are fleeing New York City's private schools following Mamdani's victory, competing for coveted Miami spots. We're having dinner last night with this couple, not with the couple sitting next to us. And after they're done having dinner, I wish them a happy 37th anniversary. She says, well, listen, we were listening to you guys' conversation. Are you guys from Greenwich? We're like, no, our friend here is from Greenwich. Greg was with us. We're having dinner. They start telling us how things are in New York. He's been a cop for New York for God knows how many years. And the stuff they were talking about with New Yorkers, friends, family, their daughters was very interesting. Mamdani taps big tech antagonist Lena Canas to co-chair mayoral transition team. Dev Portnoy destroys Mamdani after election win and threatens to move Barstool out of New York City. Democrat-run Houston rolls out a red carpet for New York cops disgusted with Mamdani's victory. There should be flashing red lights banning on Mamdani's win. And then Fetterman blasts Pelosi for calling Trump the worst thing on the face of the earth. NVIDIA Jensen Huang says China will win AI race with U.S. Then the next day he changes position. Okay, that's the November 5th. First one.
What I meant to say was.
That's right. He softens as China will win the AI race. Remarks to FT. McDonald's U.S. sales rise, but profits fall short as it warns Americans are dining out less. On the front lines of American car repo, and then Ben Shapiro calls Tucker Carlson dishonest for normalizing Nazism by hosting white nationalists. Nick Fuentes and then Stephen Colbert. You guys ready what he said? Insists he's more conservative than people might think and not a lefty figure. That's what
let's
Colbert.
cover both of those medias at the same time because we think we know why they're suddenly playing nice.
Well, that's a good point. You had a theory that I think it's worth the audience hearing about. And we got a bunch of other things that's going on here. This transgender person who used woman's locker room at Gold's Gym stole ex-wife's name. By the way, Vinny, you have to see the first lady that's telling the story. She's like, I'm in a freaking shower. I see a guy with his dangling
and he's
hanging
exposing,
out. And
he's exposing himself to her.
And she's like, what are you doing? And she goes, tells the gym.
And guess what? And what happens?
They kick her out.
Stop it. Stop it.
Do you have all those clips, Rob? Like, I think it's 3 of them. If
Yeah,
you can pull
it's
it up.
amazing.
The clip
So,
I'm thinking
Adam,
of, it,
so he
like,
took
it literally
the
just
identity-
looks like
Yeah.
a dude. It's not
Vinny,
even
he took
Trump.
the identity of his ex-wife.
that he beat the hell out
I
of.
want a
We'll talk about
divorce,
that
but
later.
first I'm going
All
to
right.
turn you into a lesbian
Well-
by me being a girl.
We'll talk about that. And
Where's
then
my license?
There's this one video Vinny showed me, if we get time to get into it, of a patriot in UK who's 100 years old. And they ask him, so how's it feel now serving? He says, all my friends that you just have to see this. I don't even want to take it
So
away. You have to
sad.
watch it to see what the reaction is going to be. With that being said, gang, a couple things that I do want to share with you guys. This whole AutoPen situation is getting a little bit out of control. Rob, if you want to pull up that clip. Honestly, everybody's talking about AutoPen, and it's disgusting. So what do? You know, here's for some of you that have big plans for 2026. Watch this video.
No auto pen here. This is a Sharpie. But by the way, 2026 is right around the corner. If you got big plans for 2026 and you've never written a business plan out, or you've written it, but it's not properly structured, you want some structure for it, that's why I wrote this book, Choose Your Enemies Wisely. If you haven't read it yet, click on a link below, place an order.
So if you want a signed copy of Choose Your Enemies Wisely, it's never a better time to read a book on business planning. Right now is the time. Go to vtmerch.com. Rob, we'll put the link below if you don't mind. We'll Choose Your Enemies Wisely right there, signed, as well as the other copies of the books that we have. And on top of that, Rob, also put the link to Business Planning Workshop. I would do both if I were you. Read the book, then attend the Business Planning Workshop. But we're looking forward to 2026. Last night, we were at this America Business Forum. I was on stage with Brett Baer, and we're watching all the people that are there. The types of business owners, Jeff Bezos, Jamie Dimon goes before me, and then Steve Witkoff is there.
Yeah.
Then you have Serena Williams literally goes right after me, and then
Rafael Nadal was there. Messi was there.
Trump, Messi.
Trump was there yesterday.
Unbelievable. And by the way, everybody in that place was talking about what's going to be happening in 2026. So a lot of people behind closed doors are ecstatic about 2026. If you want to get some of those strategies, register for Business Planning Workshop. Go to bpw.betdavidconsulting.com, bpw.betdavidconsulting.com. Rob, do we have that link below as well? Perfect. Having said that, let's get right into it. Trump calls out Mamdani's very angry acceptance speech, warns communism never worked anywhere. Here's the president.
I'm so torn because I would like to see the new mayor do well because I love New York. I really love New York. When I left New York for Washington, New York was doing really well, but there were some bad signs. The bad sign was a guy named de Blasio. So the signs of de Blasio, that was the beginning, and it was bad. This one, we're going to look. For 1,000 years, communism has not worked. Communism or the concept of communism has not worked. I tend to doubt it's going to work this time.
Did you see his victory speech?
It's literally never worked. Yeah, I thought it was a very angry speech. Yep. Certainly angry toward me, and I think he should be very nice to me. You know, I'm the one that sort of has to approve a lot of things coming to him, so he's off to a bad start.
Tom, thoughts?
So I think he's speaking for a ton of people. You know what was crazy? On the Democrat side, you didn't see like this unified cheering section.
No, you did not.
You did not at all. And Trump is leading what a lot of people are saying. I mean, in the story rundown that you just did, 5 minutes ago, Pat, 4 minutes ago, there's all of these things where people are talking about, I'm upset, I'm leaving, I'm moving out, people in Miami. And so I think he was measured, and I think he made a point to people. Communism doesn't work, gang. You may be upset, but how you voted has consequences. It doesn't work. And he's reminding them what they voted for. And I think, if anything, the president was measured and showing some leadership here, not going off the way we know Trump can go off.
Yeah, I thought so as well. By the way, you know what I liked? It's a very weird combination of the next video I'm going to be showing you guys. Next video is a video of Scaramucci, who is not a fan of the president.
No, not at all.
But watch what he said about Mamdani, and he teaches a little bit of history here about what happened to New York with a mayor in the 60s and how long it took for New York City to recover from it. Go ahead.
Is by 2% on people earning over $1 million. That's what he says he's going to do. In exchange for free buses and free healthcare and free childcare.
And I understand that. But the last time they did that, the city and the state lost 600,000 top people. They moved into places like Texas and Florida, and they're spending 185 days in those areas and less time in New York. And so that hurts the whole economic ecosystem. So he could do that, but he's got to get Governor Hochul's approval. He's got to get the Assembly and the state Senate to do that in Albany. But there's another big problem. If you examine his campaign, it's very similar to John Lindsay's campaign in the late 1960s. People don't remember John Lindsay, but what he did was he borrowed a tremendous amount of money to put through a lot of free services. The tax revenues went down, the base went down, and by 1975, his successor mayor, Abraham Beame, was stuck in a financial crisis, and they had to effectively declare bankruptcy for the city and then restructure the city. It took 15 years. It wasn't until 1990 that the city actually started healing itself. So we'll see. People from Wall Street that have met with the new mayor, the mayor-elect, are saying that he's arrogant. So we'll see.
He wants to raise taxes.
What do you think about what Scaramucci said there?
I think Scaramucci's right, and I'll give you personal reflection on it. In 1976, I was in middle school. And we had a field trip. We were going from Connecticut, took a bus into New York to go to two museums, Museum of Natural History. It's been there, and just museum stuff. And my mom was worried about it because New York was on one side of New York were these things like museums, but the other side of New York, it was like a cesspool. There was this thing called 42nd Street. And if you look up 42nd Street in the 70s, it was a cesspool. It was worse than Main Street Amsterdam, with prostitution and peep shows and pornography, advertised right on the street.
Peep shows?
It was really bad.
Wow.
Really, really bad. And this is 75, 80. And that's exactly when Mayor Beame came in. And I remember as a freshman in high school sitting in Connecticut, and we had a economics and sociology course. And they were talking about the plight of New York City, that this incredible city and it's all this thing that was in such trouble. And they were in trouble. They were looking for federal support. They were looking for help. And I'll tell you, he's right. Scaramucci there can sometimes be very blustery, but he is correctly talking about what happened in the 60s. And all of a sudden, 1975, Mayor Beame inherited this mess. He was followed by Mayor Koch. And finally, he's right. It took until the 90s to get the city on its feet.
Wow.
And then remember, Rudy Giuliani took it up a level and went after the mob, went after the waterfront, and went after things and took it up a level. So look how long it took. It wasn't just
I don't know if everybody is thinking how long it's going to take to recover, but some people are just excited about it. Adam, your thoughts on this here?
So, as someone that is the biggest advocate for Miami, I kind of feel grateful because, they say finders, keepers, losers, weepers, or, one man's loss is another man's gain. I truly believe we're about to see the decline of New York City. And it pains me to say that because even though that I'm born and raised in Miami and I love Miami, this is where I want to be, New York City is my favorite city in the world. I've been to London, I've been to Paris, I've been to Rome, I've been everywhere. New York City has something so unique about it. And to see a self-proclaimed democratic socialist / communist / Islamist / pro-Palestine terrorist sympathizer be the mayor of the home of capitalism, the home of Wall Street, the home of the New York Yankees, and we know an owner or two. It's sad, but it also tells you that New York has to look in the mirror and say, how did we get here? And I said this before. I think that when they did the the organizations they did in the Wall Street thing, what do they call it exactly? Occupy Wall Street. At the moment, that movement did not dissipate. It only grew. And you have these 35 and under crowd who genuinely hate what America stands for. They hate what capitalism stands for. All they know is socialism. And if you look at Gen Z, they empathize way more with socialism. So we're starting to see the cracks in the vase that is New York City. And it doesn't make me happy to see it. But as someone that lives in Miami, I know that realtors are salivating. I know that business people are salivating.
So,
and the future looks bright in Miami.
Here's what President Trump had to say when he said turn up the volume. When Mamdani said, President Trump, I know you're watching this, turn up the volume. Go ahead, Rob.
At one point he says, turn the volume up.
So hear me, President Trump, when I say this. To get to any of us, you will have to get through all of us.
How do you respond to that? Does that affect anything you're going to do?
It's a very dangerous statement for him to make, actually. And, you talk about danger. I think it's a very dangerous statement for him to make. He has to be a little bit respectful of Washington, because if he's not, he doesn't have a chance of succeeding. And I want to make him succeed. I want to make the city succeed. I don't want to make him succeed. I want to make the city succeed, and we'll see what happens.
Did you see reaching out to him?
I would say he should reach out to us, really. I think he should reach out. Right. I'm here.
PBD, how do you process that? Because to me, that's a very mature diplomatic statement when he could eviscerate him. How do you interpret that?
That's what we were talking about.
It's what I said last night. What I said last night when I said he's at level 100 at having gone through the fire, mentally tough. Vinny, what are you thinking?
Well, first and foremost, on the Mamdani situation, how he spoke, I want people to understand the sudden switch. Did you see Van Jones when he was on whatever show he was on? And he's like, I can't, this is literally the moment he wins, he gets behind the mic, and you hear the anger, do you hear the bitterness? It's almost like I got you. And it's people like Van Jones that got buyer's remorse because they were talking so proud about him 5 minutes before, Pat, and they were duped. He said, he goes, he used to be calm, warmed, and embracing. Yeah, that's what you get. He exposed his true Marxist attitude. He was angry. Is this it, Rob? Yes. Can we play that, Rob? Pat?
Yeah, of course.
I think he missed an opportunity.
Missed an opportunity.
I think the Mamdani that we saw on the campaign trail, who was a lot more calm, who was a lot warmer, who was a lot more embracing, was not present in that speech. And I think that Mamdani is the one you need to hear from tonight. There are a lot of people trying to figure out, can I get on this train with him or not? Is he going to include me? Is he going to be more of a class warrior, even in office? I think he missed a chance tonight to open up and bring more people into the tent. I think his tone.
So his tone, and it's like weird. And what happened, Pat? What is it always
about? Whose tent, Vinny?
I'm sorry?
Whose tent is Van Jones talking about?
Which one?
When he says bring more people under the tent.
Which tent?
He's talking about the Democrat Party tent.
Yeah, of course.
Mamdani is not building that tent.
No, and who voted? And I was trying to think, because we saw the numbers, and I saw a chart to Rob. Who voted? Who are the majority of the people that were voting for him were who? The working class? No, it was angry, white, liberal women and the younger people that are getting promised free stuff. And you made a great point, Pat. And this is the third time that I'm talking about it. Everybody's talking about the mass exodus. Okay, all the millionaires and billionaires that Bernie Sanders talks about. And you said it last night. Again, who's going to be moving to New York? Okay? Yep. Illegals, because he's going to be soft on crime and he wants to empty up the jails, number one. Number two, all the criminals, all the illegals, everybody wants to come because, why be in jail? He loves illegals because it was a sanctuary city. And then, honestly, the Muslim community, and I want everybody to understand one thing. I criticize Christians, I criticize Jewish people, Israel, and don't think for 2 seconds that I'm not going to criticize Muslims as well. This is October, Pat. This is a father walking through the Bronx, and if you don't think this is going to start happening, you're an idiot. This is a guy in the Bronx, and I'm all for everybody having your religions. They're in the middle of the street doing this type of prayer. Go ahead, Rob, play this. October.
But you cannot take us. Who said? Me. What gives you special privilege? You cannot take us. Who said that? You cannot do that.
Tolerant, boom. This is in the Bronx, New York. A father's trying to walk.
Right now in the Bronx.
This is the Bronx. And if you don't think this is going to start happening more and more and more, you are insane. And can I make one? Bob, you can stop it. And then, did you see his intern, Mamdani's intern?
Yeah,
how her attitude is about.
Oh,
you guys already played it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't have to play it. But I'm just telling you, Pat. I feel like this guy is going to be the beginning, and it's going to start happening more and more and more. And I give it 2 years, and people are going to see what New York is becoming.
Van Jones had it backwards. He's correct, but he has it backwards. He said this Mamdani was the Mamdani that we saw, the warm and, toned down a little bit during the campaign, is not the Mamdani we saw here. You need to understand, Van, the Mamdani you saw here is Mamdani. That's the Mamdani you didn't see during the campaign.
Exactly. And Rob, can we...
This is the real guy. The box is open, and the real... You just paid for it. Now you got to open the box and see what you really bought.
And for everybody that's in New York, and I'm going to pray for you, and I'm sorry, you were like, he's all the free stuff, free buses. We're going to tax the rich. What did he do the very next day? He's asking for your money. Play this, Rob. Oh.
Good morning, New York City. Thank you. Yeah. Last night we made history, and today we begin the work of making a new administration. Welcome to the transition.
Great.
This is the period over the next few months where we build a city hall that delivers on the promises of our campaign. To make New York City affordable and to make government accountable to the people.
Okay, where's the free stuff?
As we prepare to govern, we'll start announcing the leaders who will help implement our agenda. People like deputy mayors who oversee entire areas of government and the commissioners who carry out the critical work of city agencies. These appointments will be driven by excellence, integrity, and hunger to solve old problems with new solutions.
Ready?
Talking to organizers on the front lines of the fight to improve our city, government veterans with proven track records, policy experts from around the country and the world, and working people who know better than anyone what our neighborhoods deserve.
Here it comes.
And this will be a period, like the campaign we ran and the city hall to come, defined by transparency. Because New Yorkers deserve a government they can trust.
Yep.
On January 1st, I will be your mayor.
Yes.
New Year's Day and a new era for this city.
When is he going to say?
Oh, one more thing.
One more thing.
You had to wait.
Remember how I told you a few months ago to stop sending us money?
Guess what?
You can start again.
Yeah,
This transition
money.
requires staff, research, and an infrastructure that can
We
meet this
need
moment.
money. Stop.
And
You
it
stop,
will be
Rob.
made possible
All
by-
that. Think about all the build up. We're gonna do this. We do this. But I need your money now.
Yeah.
Weird.
I mean, look, I'm not surprised. I will tell you, when this is happening, the biggest question is what level of action families will take. We were at a dinner last night. Everybody was speaking about this. They're walking by our table. They're talking to us about what's going on in New York City. Lady's got a 65-unit apartment that her father gave to her in her inheritance that she took over. She sold in January. She says, you know what some of the laws were in New York? Just people didn't have to pay rent. And they're like, nah, I don't have to pay rent. She says, but you make money. Based on the new laws that they have, I don't have to pay rent. I saw a clip, Rob. I don't know if I sent it to you. I don't think I sent it to you. I'm gonna forward it to you. And if you can go to like the 40-second mark when I forward this to you, it's a video of him saying he's highlighting this apartment where the owner is not taking care of the tenants, which makes sense. There are owners that don't take care of the tenants, and the tenants have the choice to leave to go to a different place. You don't have to stay there. But watch what he says, which is the most powerful part, folks. And if you can fast forward, Rob, and go to right about there. Play it from right there. Watch this. Go ahead.
The mayor's office to protect tenants, bringing code enforcement under one roof and making sure that agencies are working together to hold bad landlords accountable.
Watch.
Starting on day one, we will expand the city's special enforcement programs, doubling fines for hazardous violations and tripling them for conditions that are immediately dangerous. And when a really bad landlord, like this guy, refuses to fix it, the city's going to step in, make the repairs, and send them the bill.
Okay, watch next.
If that doesn't work, the city's taking over the building. We're putting the worst landlords out of business. And we're going to transform 311.
Go back 5 seconds. Go back 5 seconds. Go back right there. Say it again. Listen, folks. Go ahead.
Like this guy refuses to fix it, the city's going to step in, make the repairs, and send them the bill. If that doesn't work, the city's taking over the building. We're putting the worst landlords out of business. And we're going to transform 311 by bringing the latest in cutting-edge technology.
Yeah, Ben Phillips, shout out to him. He sent this clip to me. And he says, we're going to take over the building.
So it's theirs. It's the city's.
So you mean like seize the means of production like communists?
Wait a minute.
So he's saying the quiet part out loud.
Yes.
And people voted for it.
That's right.
And bravo, New York City.
But the point is, you know what that means.
Yes.
You know what that means. Challenge is, he's going to need Albany to get some of this stuff done. That's what this family was saying last night. He's going to need Hochul. What's the likelihood of Hochul agreeing to the 2% increase on the rich?
Very low. She's up for re-election.
She's up for re-election. Does he need her help also to be able to increase the corporate taxes? Same thing. He's got to go through Albany.
Of course.
Tom, yes?
Yes, some of it. And I'm diving into it with Brandon so that we can really know step by step what he can and can't do. Some of the things he can do with the stroke of a pen, similar to a president's executive order.
Some of the stuff
Other things he can't. We're going to put the list so people can see.
We're going to see. And remember that one mayor that Scaramucci was talking about, Lindsay? Pre-1971, this guy apparently used to be a Republican guy Then he became a Democrat, and he stayed with the party. Can you zoom in a little bit, Rob? Go down a little bit on his political affiliation. Okay, right there. Go up. 1971, during his term as a mayor, Lindsay switched from the Republican Party to the Democratic Party. Same year, he launched a brief, unsuccessful bid for Democratic presidential nomination. In 1980, he made an unsuccessful bid for Democratic nomination for U.S. Senate. So this has been tested out. The only difference with this guy is he wasn't a Muslim himself. He was, what happened,
Look
Tom?
where he went to school. You're right. Keep going, but look where he went to school.
What's that? What school are you seeing, Tom?
The Buckley School, highly liberal,
Yeah.
St. Paul's, and Yale.
Yeah, but here's, I want to get to this next one, and then we can kind of move on from Mamdani because he's officially yours, New York. Congratulations. We're very happy for you guys.
New York, Mazel Tov.
Yeah, so Zohran Mamdani taps big tech antagonist Lina Khan's co-chair mayoral transition team. You should see his transition team. He doesn't believe in hiring men, okay? It was, did you see this, Rob?
Was it Lina Khan? What's her name?
Lisa Khan. Lisa Khan. Go
Lina,
play
Lina.
I'm sorry, Lina Khan.
Yeah.
Play this clip, Rob.
Good morning, everybody. It's great to see you all. I want to start off by just congratulating our mayor-elect Mamdani on an incredible victory and a just remarkable campaign this last year. I think what we saw last night was New Yorkers not just electing a new mayor, but clearly rejecting a politics where outsized corporate power and money too often end up dictating our politics, and a clear mandate for change where New Yorkers can get ahead and where all workers and small businesses can thrive, not just get by. I think what we saw through the campaign was an operation that showed extraordinary discipline, rigor, talent, and I know that Zohran has the vision.
You can pause it right there. Okay, just so you know who she is, she's the former Federal Trade Commission chair, and she's going to be serving as a co-chair on the transition team. And the 36-year-old Democrat who brought major cases against Meta and Amazon while running the FTC from 2021 to 2025 surprised some onlookers on Wednesday as she appeared alongside Mamdani at his first post-election press conference. Tom, why is this so important to businesses in New York City?
Because he has picked somebody who was picking on businesses. And by the way, this was a pick that, in my opinion, of everything I've read, that was an Obama-influenced pick that was made by Biden because she was named to the Federal Trade Commission. And my opinion, based on what I've read, is that Biden didn't really understand everything about her, and she was kind of pushed through by other people that were working with Biden to get it done. And all she did for her time there was question every merger. All mergers aren't bad. Sometimes mergers save jobs by creating a single stronger organization out of two. And she picked on people, and I'm not against that some of the things that Meta was asked to answer for, like the stuff they were intentionally trying to hook young girls to get them to stay on, and they were suffering,
depression and all
psychological effects. That's where government steps in to do good things, like OSHA, right? OSHA stepping in. But what she was doing, FTC, this was her mandate. She was anti-capitalist. So it wasn't just the FTC, Pat, trying to make good business decisions, good decisions about businesses to protect citizens and investors and things. She was actively anti-capitalist. And I believe that she was put there by other people and that Biden didn't really know what he put there. And now she, no surprise, the lady picking on business is now picked by Mamdani to lead his transition.
And one other thing to think about, I mean, listen, there's two ends of the spectrum. She's a progressive, and she's very aggressive when it comes to monopolies and antitrust laws, which we understand. We don't want monopolies in this country. But she's also what it would appear to be very anti-capitalist. So I think she made her name really advocating against Amazon. And if you remember what happened in New York right before COVID, you have a representative in New York named AOC, our friends in New York know her, who was vocally and politically opposed to Jeff Bezos moving a headquarters.
Like HQ2 or something.
Exactly, to New York, Do you know how much money this would have brought to New York? You know how many jobs this would have brought to New York? Do you know much more opportunity?
25,000 jobs at $150,000 average salary.
You don't
And
think
taxes.
New Yorkers want that job? You don't think New Yorkers who are struggling with affordability and the wage gap and the wealth gap wanted those jobs? So it's okay to be antitrust and anti-monopoly. I get it. But when you're anti-capitalist and anti-business, that's where people have a problem with people like this.
And Pat, just FYI, today, Stefanik, since you guys are talking about governors, she just launched her gubernatorial race for 2026. And she said, when New Yorkers were looking for strong, this is about Hochul, strong leadership from a governor, not to bend the knee to Zohran Mamdani, Kathy Hochul bent the knee. So it just started today.
Yeah, but the question again is Mamdani going to be able to do the things with taxes with the support of Hochul? Hochul was asked about Mamdani, tax the rich, tax the rich. Did you guys see this clip or no?
No.
Tax the rich. And she said, settle down, settle down, settle down. And then afterwards, when they asked her, do you know, what do you think? Because she started getting upset at the audience that were chanting, is this the one, Rob? Oh, that's the one. Go ahead, Rob. Play the clip. Watch this.
New York's first mom governor, we need more child care. Universal. Child care for everyone who wants it.
And then you hear tax the rich, tax the rich.
I can hear you.
Okay. Afterwards, when they asked her, are you going to tax the rich? She says, I don't really know what they were saying. I thought they were saying something like, let's go,
Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
Actually, she said that.
Are you serious?
No, not Brandon. She says, I thought they were saying, let's go New York, let's go, something like that. So, look, who knows? But let's look at business owners and what type of action they're taking. Here's Dave Portnoy, okay? New York, attitude, energy, media, vocal. Here's what he said about what he's planning on doing with, what do you call it, Barstool Sports, and his reaction to it. Because Barstool, I believe they're in New York City, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, definitely New York City.
He destroys
he's in
Mamdani
Florida,
after election. He lives in Florida, but I think Barstool is in New York. Destroys Mamdani after election and threatens to move Barstool out of New York City. This is his tweet that he's saying, what is perfectly in New York City? Thank God I don't live there anymore. A relief Dave Portnoy says he thankfully no longer lives there. Mamdani, just 34, got elected after Mamdani. On Scott Jennings, Brandon, a great actor on X, concluded Scott Jennings sums up Mamdani perfectly. But if this is what the people of New York City want, then so be it. Thank God I don't live there anymore. Portnoy has previously expressed his disdain for Mamdani and his left-wing ideology. And, Rob, is this him talking about Barstool, or he's talking about the fact that he's an actor?
This is the Scott Jennings clip.
Scott Jennings talking about that Mamdani's an actor?
Yep.
Go ahead and play the clip.
He's the greatest actor you have. He turned himself into a hood ornament for the poor and the downtrodden. He's a rich kid who is a great actor. He play acts.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I can understand why. I can
I'm
understand
just
why
saying.
you'd be leery of an actor in politics.
I'm just saying, there's no other obvious Democrat.
Trying to say
he has all
Reagan.
the energy behind him. You talk about slicing and dicing the electorate. He's going to slice it and dice it in one way: oppressors and oppressed.
No.
And I want to find out if he has it in him to give it up. I don't think he does, because that's the energy in the Democratic Party. It's oppressors and oppressed.
No.
That's why the Jews in this city feel scared, because they know he has labeled them as the oppressors. That's why people who create jobs in New York City are leery, because he labels them the oppressors. That is the worldview of the energy of this campaign, and it's also the worldview of the energy of Democratic primaries across this country.
I love it. It's like stop talking, bro.
Oh, by the way, he's going to be in the 2020 elections. Jennings is going to be running as well. He may be a president, VP. He's going to do something. And, hey, is anyone leaving New York City? Is anyone leaving New York City? Watch this. Families are fleeing New York City private schools following Mamdani's victory, competing for coveted Miami spots. Adam, I'm coming to you with this one, and then Tom, right afterwards to you. So, they're not going to leave New York City, Vinny.
I remember hearing that
No
somewhere.
one's going to leave New York City. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Zohran Mamdani's victory has New Yorkers running for the hills, or at least private schools outside of the city. Since the result of Tuesday's election and school placement, consultant Christopher Rim told the Post that he has had no less than 23 clients reach out to him. They're looking to relocate, and they want to help getting their kids, help with getting their kids into private elite high schools and middle schools in other states. Within the first 30 minutes of AP announcing Mamdani's victory, I got 3 messages from families looking to move, said Rim, the founder and CEO of Command Education. Over the summer, I started hearing families say, I don't know what we're going to do if this guy wins. He said, feeling that a Mamdani victory was inevitable, 6 of his clients moved to Connecticut, Greenwich, Darien, and Riverside ahead of the school year. They were like, he's going to win, and there's no reason to wait. The parents who have reached out to him have kids enrolled at top-notch New York City schools, including Trinity, Riverdale, Horace Mann, Ramaz, and Event Avenues. Their children range from 3rd grade through high school. Many, he reports, are Jewish and are concerned about his rising anti-Semitism in the city and Mamdani's views on Israel. Adam.
So it's going to happen. We're asking, we're posing this question, like, are people leaving? I don't know. Would they do this? Listen, I've seen New Yorkers flirt with moving to Florida my entire life. And pre-internet, pre-social media, pre-COVID, pre-Zoom, I would always ask these questions, especially when I was like in the nightlife world. They'd come down every winter, New Year's, have the best time of their life. And they're like, man, I love it here, man. I was like, well, why don't you guys just move here if you love it so much? Well, New York, family, this, that, the other. And then what we saw happen during COVID, they were just like, yo, we out. And if you don't think it's going to happen, there's precedent for this. Just look at California. You left California.
Yep.
You left California. Yep. You left California. How many companies left California during COVID? We know Tesla, Oracle, I think Hewlett-Packard, Palantir. They all moved to Texas. Charles Schwab, Chevron, Rogan famously went to Austin. So California, when the wealthy have had enough, they move to Texas, and in some cases Vegas or Tennessee. It's no secret when New Yorkers have had enough, and they say, "All right, we can move to Connecticut, we can move to New Jersey, whatever. All right, we're out. We're moving to Miami. We're moving to Fort Lauderdale. We're moving to Boca." We've seen it a million times. It's not even a question. So New Yorkers are going to come here. They're going to come in droves, and the cost to live in Miami now is going to get more expensive. Everything's supply and demand. So I continue to say this. Zohran Mamdani is a case example of what not to do, but what to do if you want to get elected. Think about this. If you want to run, if I wanted to run as a Democrat, anybody wants to run as a Democrat, it's the easiest thing to do. Why? Do you want, like when I ran for student body government in 5th grade, I was like, do you want free pizza? Do you want to have PE 6 times a day?
Yeah.
Do you want to not do homework? Vote for me. Everyone's like, hell yeah. The hardest thing to do is run as a Republican, especially. Do you want to have to work your ass off?
Yep.
Do you want to have to actually put in the work and build a business? Do you actually want to have to wake up early, get stuff done, raise your family, raise your kids? I know it's not easy, but someone has to do it. Are you up for the challenge? That's the difference. Like the Democratic Party to me is free pizza, which I ran for in 5th grade. Zohran Mamdani is doing it today. By the way, got elected, homie.
Get that pizza.
Nobody ever got free
pizza. But then the next day he asked for money for the pizza.
By the way, can I get some
yeah, I need money for the
pizza. So we've seen this show before, and I love New York, but best of luck. Buena suerte, New Yorkers.
Thoughts?
No, it's to say that people aren't leaving, and we've heard it on people's podcasts, like a week before it happened, they're going to leave. Like, let me ask you a question. If you're let's say you're worth $50 million and you're in New York, what's that 2%, Tom, that's going to hit you? That 2%.
It's huge.
Oh,
it's huge. So
you're making Tom do
So
math
my question
now,
is, yeah,
wow.
How does that feel, Tom?
Tom looked at you like.
My question is,
it's actually not the $50 million.
What is it?
The 2% is $1 million he's going to pay for that. But he wants to take corporate tax from 7.3 to 11.4.
Bingo.
That's 4% on corporation revenue. That means what he's trying to say is it's literally moving jobs away from, from companies creating the jobs to the government creating jobs. That's all he's doing. He's moving to 4%. Anytime they raise taxes, the way to interpret that is the following. They're telling you the government can do better with your money than free markets. That's all they're saying. The government can do better than the free market. It's like a new CEO getting hired at the company, and here's how they campaign. You ready? Hey, Amazon, vote for me to be the new CEO of Amazon, because what we're going to do is lower the salaries of the big executives, and we're going to raise the salaries of the minimum wage. I'm going to make sure these executives that are making $4, $5, $6 million a year, we're going to bring them down to no executive should make more than $1 million a year at Amazon. But if you're only making $60,000, we're going to raise your living wages from $60,000 to $200,000 a year. Who's going to be voting for that? 80% of people at companies don't make that much money. They're going to be like, holy shit, I love this CEO. They're going to vote for him. Then a new CEO comes in. Then guess what those executives do? Hey, Corn Fairy? Yeah, I'm looking. So if you want to call Google, Meta, everybody else, let them know I'm looking because they just slashed my salary in half. It's basic mathematics. Tom, go ahead.
No, you know what? To Pat's point here, I'm going to add to it. And the actual, and here come the haters. You're going to just descend on me.
Bring it on.
Here we go.
If you look at the report card of people that are running businesses and take away the bad actors, the people that don't treat people well, you only have about 40% of executives in this country that are truly great executives. You listen to the things, I mean, Pat and I saw a clip from Jeff Bezos as he was coming in and was connected to the American Business Forum where Pat was interviewed by Brett Baer. And you see real genius and you see people and you say, well, that's why that company's there. And you listen to them and it's like, it's amazing. There's only so many of them. And if you want to chase them out of the of your company, you do it at your own risk. Bad CEOs lose great teams. We saw it happen. We talk about Chipotle. We talk about Brian Niccol. You know, he attracts great teams and gets great results. There's not a whole lot of those guys. So if you want to chase great businesses out, there's not a whole lot of great businesses that are going to grow over 20 years and are going to bring jobs and bring things in. There's not a lot of those opportunities. And it's arrogant to say, well, the government that is not in the business of running businesses is going to run businesses. And by the way, do you know how he takes away that apartment building? He already knows he's going to get it because he's putting restrictions on you as a landlord. He's putting controls on you as a landlord. You don't have the money to do the things that he wants you to do. Vinny, did you do this, this, and this? I don't have the money to do it. Yeah. Oh, that's a no. We'll be back next week. Did you do this, this, and this?
I don't have the money.
Guess what? We're going to do it. We're going to come in and do all that stuff. And here's the bill.
I don't have the money to do it,
Oh, I'm
Tom.
sorry. Give me all your keys, all the copies of the keys. We own it. We have the deed. Send them the note. It's a plan. It's a plan. So on one side, it's a plan, and on the other side, it's an unintended consequence. You have some people that it's a complete unintended consequence because they say, we're going to be men of the people, we're going to do this, and you chase out the good people just the way bad CEOs chase out great teams. Then, on the other hand, it's intentional. The workers will control the means of production. We're going to take it.
Yep, there it is.
You're seeing it. He's already speaking our language. This guy here just literally tweeted right now, Danker D, 49er native. You guys could buy a New York school and relocate them to Miami, pay the teachers to move down and draw the demand. Eventually, we're going to be doing that, just not right now. By the way, for those of you guys that are watching, if you haven't posted a question yet on the next circle, at the end of it, we'll try to get to one or two of the questions. I know this topic of New York City is very, very important and sensitive to a lot of you. Go to the next circle, pose your question. That's the QR code right there. Download the app, and then at the end of it, we'll address some of the questions.
Real quick, you interviewed a guy probably 5 years ago. I believe his name was Dan Price.
Yes.
Gravity Payment, something like that.
Yes, it was a merchant account company.
Okay, so this guy practiced what I believe was called ethical capitalism. There he is right there. He's sort of like a Jack Dorsey wannabe, respectfully. He was making $1 million a year, I believe, as the CEO.
Yep.
And, salaries range all over. He said, you know what, guys, moving forward, bing, 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 we're all equal. Everyone's going to make, I think, $70,000 was the number.
Yep.
Does that strike the...
That's it, 1.1 million to 70K.
All right, everyone's going to make $70K. And oh, that's so sweet. That's so nice. Oh my God, we're all equal. We all do the exact same thing. Oh, we're all living in a fairy tale. That's not how life works. I think the company might have gone under. I'm not sure if he is even still relevant. I'm not sure where the story ends. But the company did not succeed. You can't just pay everyone the exact same amount. I'll give you another example. So there's two players, one arguably the best player in the league and one arguably the worst player in the league. They're on the same team. And one is called LeBron James, and one is called Bronny James. Respectfully, nice young guy. Still has time.
Are they related by any chance?
They are, sir. One, I think, makes $50 million a year, and one makes, I would assume, the rookie minimum. In this world, you pay them the exact same amount. Doesn't matter what you've done, doesn't matter your track record, doesn't matter you put butts in seats, doesn't matter that you're arguably the greatest living player, blah, 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 blah. We're all equal, guys. The problem is that's not how things work. I think Shohei Ohtani, the greatest player right now other than Aaron Judge, maybe. I think he makes, what's his contract? $700 million?
They're showing us history.
$700 million, Tom?
Yeah, 700.
Okay. Worth every penny, yeah?
Yeah, and by the way,
I'd like to go to the next story, Adam. Anything else? Or
no, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
you
I'm
can't,
with you.
the greatness, but the point is this. People don't understand. CEOs, you pay for great CEOs, do you not?
Yeah.
Who's the guy that they said was
Brian
it? Was
Nickel.
it?
Yeah, that's what I was
not
talking
Brian
about.
Nickel. Who's the guy? Was it Starbucks? Who was the guy? I don't
Brian
take phone
Nickel.
calls
That's Brian
after.
Nickel.
Oh,
We
you
talked
did one
about it.
prior
I don't
to
take
the
phone calls after
consultants.
5 o'clock.
Yes.
But they paid some guy that I think used to run Chipotle. You pay for greatness.
The predecessor said that about
and
the
they don't
phone.
understand that in the corporate world, or socialists don't understand that.
I got
but
you.
they have no
Let's go to the
problem,
next story.
paying LeBron.
Let's go to the next story. Okay. So that's that. Now, while all of this stuff is going on, you have Ben Shapiro blasts dishonest Tucker Carlson for normalizing Nazism by hosting white nationalist Nick Fuentes. Why would he ever have Nick Fuentes on his podcast? I mean, I can't imagine anybody ever doing such a thing. But what is this right here, Rob?
This is Ben Shapiro.
Okay, go for it.
Hey, folks, I want to do something different on today's show. We're going to cover one topic in depth. That topic is, I think, the most important thing happening in the country. It was a hot topic last week, but I wanted to take some time to really gather my thoughts and speak on it in coherent fashion, holistic fashion. That topic is the fragmentation of the political right. That fragmentation is being caused purposefully by a splinter faction of people led by a young man named Nick Fuentes. They call themselves the Groypers. They are white supremacists. They hate women, Jews, Hindus, many types of Christians, brown people of a wide variety of backgrounds, blacks, America's foreign policy, and America's Constitution. They admire Hitler and Stalin. And that splinter faction is now being facilitated and normalized within the mainstream Republican Party. The main agent in that normalization is Tucker Carlson, who is an intellectual coward, a dishonest interlocutor, and a terrible friend. And Tucker Carlson last week was aided, abetted, celebrated for normalizing Nazism within the Republican Party by the mainstay organization of the traditional right, the Heritage Foundation. Now, before we explain what's been happening, let's make one thing clear. This is not about free speech or cancellation. It was never about free speech or cancellation. Free speech has a definition, the right to speak free of governmental coercion. I believe in it, of course. I've always defended it. Criticism of bad speech is, in fact, just a form of free speech. Cancellation also has a definition, the banning of particular people, including people like Nick Fuentes, from platforms like X or Facebook. I believe that Nick Fuentes is odious and despicable, but I've never called for his cancellation. And in fact, I've called for his restoration to those services, despite the fact that I think he's odious and despicable. It is not cancellation to draw moral lines between viewpoints. In fact, we used to call that one of the key aspects of conservatism. It is not cancellation to refuse to signal boost Hitler's supporters like Nick Fuentes. It is not cancellation to criticize Tucker Carlson.
You can pause it right there. Okay, Adam, go ahead.
No, I'm pulling something up. Go ahead.
No, it's your story. It's your name.
Gotcha.
Go
I'm
ahead.
just grabbing one thing. So when Ben called, by the way, Rob, I sent you a clip. That's what I was waiting on, and I'll get back to that in a second. When Ben called Tucker Carlson a intellectual coward, dishonest interlocutor, and terrible friend, you know what stuck out to me? The terrible friend part. Because I'm totally an advocate of free speech. We've had Nick Fuentes here. I mean, I've received so much criticism for shaking Nick's hand, playing basketball with Nick. What's weird is I get along with Nick. You've seen this. Do I disagree on his judgment of Jews and Israel and blacks and immigrants? Of course. Any reasonable person would draw those conclusions. But is there a sliver of truth in what he's saying? Of course, because otherwise, why would people resonate with this? The terrible friend to me thing is what pains me. You mean to tell me you're going to have Tucker Carlson, you're going to have Nick Fuentes on, who in many ways made his name shitting on Charlie Kirk, and not even a little bit.
Who are you
the
talking
entire thing.
Nick
Fuentes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Made a living on shitting on Charlie. And for Tucker to not even mention it once, not even like, hey, listen, as you know, Charlie was a friend. Tucker spoke at Charlie's funeral. How many people spoke at Charlie's funeral? 20, maybe, in the world? To not even mention, hey, I really don't like that. I don't like what you did there. I hear you. But to not even mention it, it's so weak and cowardly to me. Okay, moving on. If someone tells me, hey, I'm a huge fan of Hitler, I'll be like, oh, okay, cool. No follow-up questions, but not one. Oh, by the way, I remember December 19th is a great day for me. What's December 19th? Stalin's birthday.
December 18th.
So, my bad. Okay, we'll circle back to that. Hey, Tucker, you never circled back, buddy. And you were never planning on circling back. So to me, I said this 3 months ago.
Yeah.
If I had to pick who actually I trust more to believe in what they believe in, Nick Fuentes or Tucker Carlson, give me Nick Fuentes all day. I think Tucker's an actor. I think he's a faker. And I think he's a gaslighter. That's my opinion. Come at me.
What's this
all
clip?
good. This clip is from Dinesh D'Souza. He's been on the show. This is his opinion on Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens.
Go ahead.
Tucker doesn't even purport to be knowledgeable about anything. So as a result, what Tucker says is, I will develop a ventriloquist style. I have strong opinions, but I don't want to defend any of them. So I will set up a structure in which I bring in sources, often rather dubious sources, people you've never heard of. Mm-hmm. You know, the nun with the mustache, some disgraced academic. And what I'll do is I will ask sort of leading questions in which is embedded an answer, my answer, but framed as a question. You then will blurt out the obvious implications of the question, giving me the answer I expected, but I will pretend to be thunderstruck by it. It's an epiphany. It's a new revelation. People have been suppressing this kind of thinking for decades. So this is a shtick. It's a different shtick than Candace. Candace's shtick is the Candace Intelligence Agency. I'm like the world's greatest detective. You know, I'm the Pink Panther of my time. I'm deputizing all my viewers also to be detectives. Feed me information. We're going to crack the case. So to me, this is like an intellectual embarrassment because all my life, I've been an iconoclast.
You can pause that.
I actually think he's absolutely right. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
But Dinesh D'Souza is a credible guy in the conservative
movement.
movement.
Why is Ben? What do you think Ben's so upset about the fact that he's just speaking with him? Because you made the point. A bad friend to who? Is he talking about Charlie?
That's exactly what he's talking about.
That's who he's talking about. Well, and here's my question.
I think so.
Well, yeah, we're assuming. I don't know because he's not. Say what you want to say because here's my thing, Pat. The beauty about conversations that you've had. You've talked to Bibi. You've talked to him. The spectrum of people from Nick Fuentes, everybody. Why doesn't Ben? Because Ben's turned down other times where we wanted to have debates meaning with Candace or him. He refuses to sit down. Sit down with this person, have a conversation, and guess what? If your argument is better and it's going to win, hold on, let me ask you a question. Do you think Ben Shapiro would sit down one-on-one against Tucker Carlson? Ben Shapiro, Tucker Carlson. And like just talk it out. Like
that they've tried to arrange something, and one of them.
Because my thing is this, Pat.
Who do you think won't? Can you run a poll? I mean, if the audience watches it, who do you think won't agree to a 2-hour debate? Tucker Carlson. Don't say any opinion, so we get them to think. Who do you think won't do it?
Yeah.
Ben Shapiro or Tucker Carlson? Put that poll.
Because to say
you guys vote for it. I'm curious to know what you guys would think about this.
Who would not show up to the debate?
Who would not agree to it?
Let's just say Megyn Kelly says, I want to host a debate with Ben Shapiro and Tucker Carlson, right? And who would say no to that debate? I'm curious to know how people are going to vote. So continue what you're saying here with Ben.
Because it's conversation because he's going to sit there and we heard that 2-minute rant of his. He's pro speech, pro this, pro that. Then what are you worried about? That he's giving him a platform, that he's asking him questions? Because I think the best thing is to do like what you did. Sit there, find out who this person is. How do they get to where they're saying? Why are they saying the stuff that they're doing? Is it for the clicks? and then you let it go. But to say that Tucker is intellectually weak and all that stuff, it's like, come on.
I have some opinions on this, but Tom, go ahead.
So, Pat, I've been with you a long time, and looking at the things, there's only so many hours in the day, and the things we decided to talk about, one of the things that Pat pushed this year, correctly so, was the difference of signal versus noise.
Yep.
Let's get to signal of the things that are going to move forward the company, the lives of the people that are giving this chapter of their career to the company, and all the things we do. All the stuff you could talk about. I'm trying to figure out, why does Ben wake up one morning and just decide that he's going to, put a well-constructed show together on Tucker Carlson for putting Nick Fuentes on the show? Of all the things that can be talked about,
I know why.
Of the plight of the, I'm going to name two: the plight of the Jews and what's about to happen in New York under Mamdani, the peace that's coming together, hostages and bodies that are coming home, and the future. Where do we go from here in the Middle East? How do we get a sustaining peace? He's well versed on so many of these things. Why does he wake up and take one day, and more, to go after this rather than all the stuff he could be talking about? And Ben is an incredibly smart intellect that can put together amazingly crafted arguments. I'm just as upset as he might be with it. It kind of confused me as why waste your airtime on this?
Do you know
Ben?
why? Did you actually watch the his? I think it was 40 minutes. Did you watch the whole thing?
No.
Okay.
I've read several summaries, but I have not put it on 2X and gone through the whole thing.
No, I watched it. I think if, by the way, if there were a debate, if there's one thing I will give Ben Shapiro credit for, is that guy debates. Right? I'm not saying
I agree, but look at all the topics.
Tucker interviews.
Are you going to answer the point?
Sure. Here's the point. He outlined the whole thing. Actually, in my opinion, it has nothing to do with Judaism or Christianity or this. Ben Shapiro, at the very end, I don't know if we can play it, gives this sort of impassioned speech. He said, damn it, I've worked my whole life for this, the conservative movement, and I'm not going to sit here while these people try to ruin it. And that, to me, is what he's talking about. He's basically saying our enemy should be the far left and the woke left and what's going on there. And you're going to try to fracture the Republican Party and the conservative movement over this nonsense, over this Nazism, this racism, this chauvinism, whatever he kind of outlines. If you go to the last 2 minutes, you'll hear it.
We're not going to do that, Rob. I'm taking
saying
your word
that
for
to
it.
me is what he stands for. He's basically saying the midterms are coming up in 1 year exactly. The left is salivating at this internal civil war. Because don't forget, they call it the woke right for a reason, because it's a mirror image of what's going on the far woke left. Whatever's going on the far left, the mirror image to the right is what's going on there.
You think Ben is a unifier?
That's not the word I would use to describe Ben Shapiro.
You think Tucker's a unifier?
No.
Okay. You think Charlie was a unifier?
1,000,000%.
1,000,000% as well.
Well, if you were a reasonable person, you would come to that conclusion.
I think Charlie was a unifier.
I agree. I think a lot of people on the left think he was a divider.
Here's my opinion on this, on a couple different things that I'll go through. Number one, so Ben Shapiro, the more they talk about Nick Fuentes, the more they raise his profile.
Yep.
Nick Fuentes, if I'm his agent, I would say, Nick, phenomenal. Your number one PR rep this week was Ben Shapiro. Send him a $10 GoFundMe and congratulate him, saying thank you for supporting the cause and raising awareness to who I am. Okay? That's what that is. Number two, I would go and sit down like those trigonometry guys, who they're trigonometry guys would sit down with me, and we did an interview one time, and he came very strong at me. I'm like, that's right after I called it the daily, And I'm like,
Constantine did?
Yeah. And I'm like, I got you. And I corrected him. I said, no, qualify the words. He said, I'm sorry, I did. Yeah. I said, so I don't like, so then I'm like, okay, I got what's going on. Because again, I'm not in this community.
Yeah.
I'm like, there is a Tucker camp, there is a Shapiro camp, and both sides bow down to both. Okay? Fair, no problem. Then there is the younger Nick camp. And then Charlie is trying to get everybody under the camp to be working together. Okay? I don't know if when you hear the market talking and there's interest in somebody giving a message, the more you dismiss them, the bigger that person's going to get. And that's what you've done. Number two, when we were having Benjamin Netanyahu on the podcast. I knew what was going to happen. I'm not even going to say what some of the stuff happened to us the last 6 weeks because I don't even want to advertise what happened the last 6 weeks. I don't want anybody to talk about what happened the last 6 weeks. It's no one's business. We're going through it, okay? So when we had BB, I would say death threats at an all-time high, no question, when BB came up. Then they agree, all right, Ben wants to come on the podcast. Then when I said, I want to have Nick on, I looked at the booking team. After Ben was confirmed, I said, if they cancel, it's because of me agreeing to have Nick on. Great. We have Nick on. I show the clips. We have the conversations. Everything takes place. Fair interview. You sound like a racist here. You sound like this here. Why are you dropping this word? So he's kind of like, even manning up. 2 weeks later, Ben Shapiro cancels. Why? Why do you cancel? So what is the brand? Why not have conversations? We're not a firebrand. We're not. Well, let's see, maybe next year. No, I'm not interested. Don't big shot yourself. It's unattractive. And by the way, here's what's crazy. I've invited Tucker 50 times. Never has he agreed to come on. And I flew to Maine.
Yep.
So it's not like I'm sitting here and, what's the word? Trying to see that, both of these camps have some similarities. Both of them. I think Ben is a very good communicator and debater. Are you kidding me? When that man put his hands on his shoulders, you don't think that's a little bit inappropriate? Ben has got some brass, and he's had some of the best fiery moments ever. Of course. Ben, when he was young, he was on Piers Morgan. Piers is about to be here. We're doing a show with him today. I don't know when we're doing it, but we're doing a show with him today. And remember the first time when he was on there, and I don't know if it was the years ago, Constitution, right, when Piers went over there. So, and Tucker Carlson. Tucker had his moment with Jon Stewart many years ago when Jon Stewart tried to make fun of him. That one right there. Look how young he looks. Not that one, Rob. All the way at the top. Yeah. Look at Ben.
When he brought in the Constitution.
Yeah. Ben has had some incredible moments, right, with what he's done. Both of them. So to me, here's a very interesting thing that's going on. Nick Fuentes. FYI, whether you like him or not, he ain't going away.
Nope.
Okay? He ain't going away, and he's going to have a voice. Here's the other part. Ben Shapiro, whether you like him or not, he ain't going away. Whether you like Tucker or not, he ain't going away. So now what? By the way, Republicans, you got destroyed last week.
Yep.
Ready? You got manhandled. Not last week, this week.
2 days ago. 3 days ago.
Destroyed last week. Okay? Marjorie Taylor Greene goes out there and she's talking about now she wants to run in 2028 on a firebrand. And, Tom's talking about it could be a Ross Perot type of a moment. You know what all this leads to? Unless if you guys find a way to get it together, President Trump is not going to go out there campaigning for everybody in 2028. If you can't go win your small little mayoral races and contests that you got and you're just waiting for, President Trump to come and retweet and endorse you every single time, and you can't come and take on the mantle and go fight, there is some stuff going on in the Republican Party. So what's the plan? Is it going to be Tucker's camp, Nick's camp, Candace's camp, Ben's camp, all these other camps that are all over the place, MTG's camp, Thomas Massey's camp, and yeah, some of these overlap, probably Thomas Massey and Candace and Tucker and some of those guys will probably, MTG is probably going to be together. I think maybe an MTG is going to be a little bit of a challenger moment there. Ben's camp is going to be one. And quite frankly, when it comes down to Ben was wrong with Trump in 2016. Ben was wrong with DeSantis in 2020. I would sit down and talk, I'm like, what are you talking about DeSantis in 2024? So they've been, it's not like they've been also right on a lot of these things. Guys, none of us have been. Everybody's walking around like, anyways, I just think, right now, if you guys don't buckle down and get locked in, 2025 ain't going to be a red wave. 2025 is going to be a blue wave that comes through because they're watching all these. Let me tell you, Nick Fuentes is right. Let me tell you, Ben Shapiro is right. Let me tell you, Tucker Carlson is right. Let me tell you, Democrats won.
Yep.
How did this happen?
Yep.
You did it. So, Mr. Ben Shapiro, respectfully, Mr. Tucker Carlson, respectfully, you know what be a great panel on stage? Is Ben, Tucker, Megyn, Nick, Candace. I think Megyn can pull this off. I think Megyn could pull this off to bring this together. I think Megyn's a boss. She's tough. She's strong. And she's been around. The reason why I think she's the one that could pull it off is because she was the face. She was like, she killed it on Fox, crushed, and she's doing great with her podcast. So she has the mainstream and the podcast victory. I think Megyn could pull off something like this to bring everyone together. Because at this point of the game, you know, Ben's loyalty, you know, of course he's going to be loyal to Israel. That's what he is. He's very proud of his heritage. FYI, you ought to be proud of your heritage. I don't sit there, I'm like, well, when I say Daily Jewish Wire or Daily, whatever I call the Israeli Wire, I do think that's his priority. I don't say that as in
like an insult.
No, I say, listen, I'm a Syrian Armenian. Okay? I'm a Syrian and Armenian. I'm a proud Assyrian, I'm a proud Armenian. But, you know, born in Iran, made in America, without America, I don't have the life that I have today. Are you kidding me? But I understand some of the affinity. I understand if Nick goes after, you know, Tucker's dad, you know, Tucker's going to invite him to say, hey, man, listen, this is one thing I don't like when you go after my dad. His dad's his hero. I understand Tucker. But I also understand Nick, who's on the outside, is like, you guys not going to give me attention? I'm going to effing come after you guys like a freaking gangster, and I'm going to pull up a Tupac, hit him up. I'm going to destroy all of you guys. That's Nick. Nick is Tupac. So what do you want to do? What do you want to do? You want to do East Coast, West Coast type of situation? Is that what you want? Really? Is that what you want? Because I think right now what Ben talked about is he's spending millions of dollars a year on security. Why? Who's creating it? Who's causing it? This isn't healthy. I don't, you know, this isn't healthy. So for me, I love the debate. Keep the debate. I love all of that stuff. But
did you see what Megyn said about this?
No, what did she say?
She addressed this. She actually had Matt Walsh on her podcast. They spoke for a full-on hour.
And what was the consensus? What did they say?
So it was very interesting because she says, I'm friends with Ben Shapiro. I'm friends with Tucker Carlson.
She's the right person.
And then she's speaking with Matt Walsh of the Daily Wire. It was very interesting, his perspective. You know what he said?
Yeah.
About Ben, Israel, whatever. He goes, yeah, I don't care. I care about America. That's my opinion. That's been my position for 10 years. He goes, I don't care.
So then for
me. But
me,
Megyn is, I think, someone that can pull this off.
I think Megyn is somebody that can pull this off because Megyn has Tucker's respect. That's why. Because Tucker respects the fact that Megyn made it on cable, TV, and made it at podcasting. And she's a formidable face. She was a moderator. Trump, hey, you've said a lot of different things about women. No, only Rosie O'Donnell. That's not true. That's not true. So, yeah, I don't know. I just think, you know, if you go like this and the infighting continues, congratulations, you handed them 2026. And if it continues and you think, oh, you know, a person, how mentally, emotionally tough and a gangster you have to be to come back and win 2024 election. There's only one guy that could have pulled that off, and it's the guy that won, and he's the president today. You think that guarantees 2028?
No.
Hell no. No. So, welcome.
Yep.
And by the way, to Ben Shapiro's camp that this is probably going to be sent to, 8,000 people voted. 68% said he's the one that doesn't want to sit down with Tucker. And our audience is fairly fair, is what they are. So there you go. I don't know. Maybe
fairly fair.
No,
I just said
think
fairly
they're pretty
fair.
They're fairly fair. But Pat, great points. And you just it just hit me that what you're talking about this, the Mamdani effect and all that stuff. Republicans are all over the freaking map, and there's the way that you just said it. If they don't come to try in any situation, the midterms are not blue. Wait. It's going to go to freaking Democrats. And then how fast is 2028 going to come? And Gavin Newsom just sitting at the top waiting for this shit.
Welcome to the White House,
He's
President
waiting.
Gavin Newsom.
He is doing it intentionally. I'm not saying that you scared me, but you just made me go, oh my God, they're all fighting because who are all those people going to tell you to vote for? Let's say the presidency comes up. One's going to tell you to go this way. Somebody's going to tell you to go this way. The one guy that's pro-Israel, they're going to say go this way. It's going to be so splintered, and sitting and waiting in the wings is Gavin Newsom going, hey,
of course.
I love this is that they're all Hitler, they're all Nazis, open the border. Come on, guys, let's go back. That's not
I agree with the point that the Republican Party and the conservative movement, I mean, never mind Republican Party. Conservatism in America and the conservative movement does need unity. A week and a half ago before the election, who do we see doing photo ops together? AOC, Bernie, and Chuck, right?
Yep.
Walking down the street. And wasn't there the three of them walking down the street in Chuck, shirt sleeves, people of the people, like this? Why? Do you think Chuck agrees with Bernie? No,
absolutely
they're
not.
mortal enemies. Chuck undermined Bernie so much in 16 and 20.
Yep.
Absolutely did. And so do you think AOC and Chuck are friends? No.
No, I don't.
There's been people saying that she's going to primary
She's
him
gonna
and
get him
she's
out.
going after the next level seat if she doesn't run. And didn't you see that AOC and Bernie are perfectly aligned? No, she's too much of a lightning rod on the outside. He's actually stayed where he is. But why are they all walking together, talking nice together? Because they know what unity was needed, and their enemy was the loss they took last November. And so the conservatives need unity. We don't need MTG running for president over here like Ross Perot. We don't need this divisiveness that's here. I agree with that point, that we need the unity and someone needs to do it. And, Pat talking about that maybe Megan could step it up. I think there's other people that could do it too, but we got to get people together on the core things.
Yeah, we're
Make
outsiders,
the core
Tom. Let me
things
tell you
the
what
core
I've learned.
things.
Let me tell you what I've learned at this point. We're outsiders, and I love it. You have no idea how much I love it. That none of them are like, who are these guys? The same way Ben feels about us is the same way Tucker feels about us. But the difference is, by the way, both of them have had me on. I've had Ben on the show 11 years ago. Never had Tucker on. But both sides are like, who are these guys? And I love it. I'm comfortable to just roll. We're not trying to sit here and, when I was coming up in insurance, it's the same exact story every single time. Who the F is this Middle Eastern guy with no college degree coming up taking market share away from us? Who are you? Every year we'd go to the insurance conference. It was like this. Who are you? Oh, my God. Get out of here. Get out of here. And then all of a sudden, boom. Oh, shoot. No, we actually love the industry, and we actually respect you guys. We respect the hell out of you guys that you guys built a business. We admire what you've done. We admire a lot of these guys, what they've done over the years, but we have our own set of opinions. And we're fair, we're respectful, but at the same time, to me, it's very simple. If I don't have a relationship with them ever for the rest of my life, I'm okay as long as America is winning.
Yep.
If that's the role we're going to play, we're going to continue playing that role. We're not somebody that's going to sit there and be like, come on, we're going to do this. Nope. We've had plenty of great experiences, and we have very good relationship with a lot of people. I also understand the fact that for some people, they're more uncomfortable. Why? 1 minute they're here, 1 minute they're there. They'll call this person up, but they'll call that person up. They'll have Netanyahu, but they'll have Nick Fuentes. Yeah, we will talk to everybody, period. And I know you're not going to like it, and I'm okay with it. I made a video the other day with the idea that I'm talking about. I think they need to do XYZ with, I think Israel has a bad brand right now because of how horrible of a job they're doing marketing as the only child. Mm-hmm. And I said, trust me, no one's going to like my idea on both sides. And guess who hated the idea? Both sides hated the idea, right? And guess what? I like that both of you don't like the idea. We will gladly play in this role of just going up here, gladly, and continue to do our part. But God willing, Megyn Kelly's going to make that phone call and host an event and have everybody there. I think she can play the role of a glue. And there's a handful of other guys I would nominate that can pull that off, but I think she's the head that can pull that off. I really think she's the head that can pull that off and get everybody in the room. And by the way, bring Steven Crowder. He's coming back, and I like the new Crowder.
Yep.
Bring him back. He's back to realizing who he is and what he was doing. Let's not forget, at one point, Crowder was the guy, and a lot of people remember when he was the guy, and he went through a bad season. But I'm kind of glad that he's got his mojo back, and he's playing ball. He's a very, very formidable voice.
He's a beast.
So I would include him in that as well.
For sure.
And but anyways.
He's criticized all those guys too, by the way.
Listen, just think about us as a consultant. That's who we are.
We're here for
We're
you
just a
guys.
consultant, is what we do. You can go to beddavid.com, literally, to learn more about what we do for clients from 60-plus countries, 10,000 businesses, a business Nobody knows that we have, except for the people that we do engagements for and strategy sessions for. Let's move on to the next story. Next story I want to go to is Jeffrey Epstein. Pretty rough day when this guy, what's his name? Andrew? Is that the one that we're talking about? Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, no, this is a different story. Jeffrey Epstein, folks, watch this here. Kind of weird. Vinny, I'm going to come to you with this one.
Yes, sir.
Claimed Maureen Comey, the daughter of 8647 James Comey, okay, who thought it was just nice seashells. Didn't know what it means. Nothing. Director of FBI, he didn't know what 8647 meant. It's just nice seashells on the beach, right? Jeffrey Epstein claimed Maureen Comey would let him free if he implicated Trump, ex-cellmate said. What? Huh. Now, let me read this to you. What is this guy talking about? Jeffrey Epstein claimed New York federal prosecutors told him he could walk free if he agreed to implicate Trump, according to his ex-cellmate. After his arrest on child sex trafficking in July of 19, Epstein was transferred to the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Manhattan, where he shared a cell with a ex-cop, Nicholas Tartaglino, who was awaiting trial before being convicted on quadruple murder charge. Tartaglione,
that's a 4.
57, now claims that Epstein, who died a month after being arrested, told him prosecutors had offered to cut a deal if he'd snitch on President Trump, who was then in his first term. Prosecutors told Epstein that if he had said President Trump was involved with Epstein's crimes, he would walk free in a petition to be pardoned. Tartaglione claims in a pardon application filed in July and obtained by the Post, Epstein told me that Maureen Comey said that he didn't have to prove anything as long as President Trump's people could not disapprove it. According to Maureen Comey, the FBI were her people, not his, meaning the president's. The papers don't specify what crimes Trump would be implicated in. At the time of his death, Epstein was charged with sex trafficking and conspiracy, but was also suspected in a laundry list of other crimes. Any thoughts?
Think of, okay, could we just give a shout out to this family? Maureen Comey, her father, James Comey, and I have to write this down, Pat. She was just fired recently, Tom, right? For the Southern District of New York since 2015. Guess which cases she profiled cases? Epstein, she was behind that. She was behind Ghislaine Maxwell, and also the Diddy case.
Diddy, right?
She's all and I get it. That's her district. That's where she's in. But like, I hope you guys understand what we're talking about here. Epstein was going to get a deal. I know this is according to Nicholas. He was going to walk free. Guys, really think about that. Tom, they were going to let him go if he just implicated Trump, because this is how deep and how far from 2000.
But this is how prosecutions work during it. You know, to be fair, this is not unique. Yeah. Do you not think if there's something up with LeBron in the gambling, do you not think that they would say to LeBron says, if you just let us know who your teammates in Miami, because one of your teammates in Miami, we got a book on him. Yeah. We're done. Yeah. And so if you want to just tell us what happened, then you'll have immunity. Chris Bosh, if you want to tell us what happened, you'll have immunity. They're talking, and the only reason I'm mentioning those names is not because they've been implicated, but because this is the way the federal government works when they're cultivating and they're trying to figure out their cases. Yeah. Is they ask one to tell on the other, and in exchange for saving the government time and being honest about that, by the way, if you snitch and you do things and you get a deal from the government that turn out to be false, there's this little clause where they can pull the deal if you basically are found to have been so full of crap and tried to redirect the government or trick them and things like that. Mm-hmm. They'll come back and pull the deal right back off the table. So this is the way it works.
Of course, yeah, for sure.
But this is the way it works.
But Tom, look at the hate and the disdain for Trump from back to 2016.
Absolutely. Point made. Absolutely. Correct.
That Tommy,
and
that you're going to let
his freaking daughter.
That's what I'm saying. And they're the guy that was behind the whole Russia collusion thing, that was behind the Hillary Benghazi and all that stuff, and all the files and all that stuff. When you talk about deep state, Tommy, that's the guy. It's the Comey. It's the Brennan. It's the John Bolton. These are the guys. They're starting to get exposed. But what drives me crazy is they were willing, because I believe it, Tom. I totally believe it. Yeah, the guy's a convicted murderer, but what does he have to? In that situation, it's not gonna. He's finished for the rest of his life. They're willing to let go the most prolific sex trafficking pedophile just to go after Trump. And by the way, you know what she said? All he had to do was accuse Trump, and if Trump's team couldn't disprove it, he'd be pardoned. Okay, Epstein, and you
See,
know what?
there's the if.
That's the if.
You got to give us enough evidence that we get something that
If
it goes
not,
like
yeah.
here.
And Epstein refused. Think about this, Tommy. Epstein refused and told her flat out Trump had nothing to do with the crimes. Okay, I don't care what anybody else is talking about.
Not the answer
That's
they
it.
want.
And going back to her father, Tom, notice this, right? He's under indictment for lying to Congress. All right, he was reportedly tipped off. He was reportedly, allegedly tipped off that the massive stash of hidden documents was going to come out.
Yeah, there's a lot of allegations and with some specifics in them about Comey that he...
Tom, let him finish.
Yeah, no, he's right. No, but I love it. Thank you, Betsy. He goes, and once he found that out, not long after that, he stumbles on a formation of rocks that said 8647, which I don't care how gullible or how much you try to play both sides. That is a freaking dog whistle. 8647 means take out the president of the United States. And he played that stupid game. Okay, like, I didn't know, and the left freaking believes it. Okay, this is what's happening, Tom. And Pat, I think it's disgusting. If it is true, I know it's all allegedly, but that they were willing to let Epstein walk if he just say Trump was there and we're good to go. And
That's
you
how
get
they
to
get
walk.
the mob, right?
That's exactly how they got the mob. Yeah.
You go the little guy to get the big guy.
100%.
So who's bigger, Trump or Epstein?
Trump is for them. It's Trump.
Okay, well then that makes Epstein the smaller criminal,
Of course.
and you're willing to let the small guy go to get this.
Yeah.
If New Yorkers knew in terms of the mob, the people that were let go so they could get John Gotti.
Oh my God, murderers, Tom, murderers.
Right? So if the headline was this, these gentlemen and their crimes got immunity because we actually were able to convict someone. Everybody goes, wait, what? And they flip out.
Yeah.
So we could come, and then instead of someone, the headline says Gotti. And then they say, well, they had to get Gotti, and I guess they had to get snitches to go after him because otherwise Gotti's still out there.
Exactly.
It's the bigger, they put the little guys to get the big guys. And in that context, regardless of all the heinous, terrible things that are happening to kids that you've been so passionate about, correctly so, absolutely appropriately so, they were willing to give up that guy to get the big guy.
Wow, a big guy that didn't do anything.
To them, Trump was the big prize.
Yeah, he didn't do anything.
I'm following this.
Yes.
I just have a couple of questions. So, obviously, we understand Comey. What's your opinion or supposition on Maureen Comey specifically? You think she's compromised, or what do you think she is?
Adam, 100. My belief, Vincent Oshana's belief. You think the apple falls that far from the tree when your father was the director of the FBI? And of course, Adam, do you even know who her husband is? These people all hate Trump, and they were willing to do anything. Adam, it's still happening to this day, and we failed to. Yes, Adam, I believe.
Who's her husband?
I forgot his name, but you can look it up, Rob. Who's her father? Lucas Zakharov. He's. You think this guy likes Trump? This guy is a Trump hater to the. Think about it. You think her
I just
husband,
see his name, Lucas. I don't know anything about him. I don't know why.
Well, their mission, and this is what bothers me, Adam. I think she's compromised. You know why? On top of what happened with the Diddy thing, the goal since 2016 was get rid of this guy, and the fact that they were allegedly willing to let go of Epstein just to get Trump. And Adam, get him for what? Lie and say that he was implicated with touching underage girls or doing whatever underage girls, because that was the goal, Adam. That's what Russia collusion was. That was the two fake impeachment was. That's all that nonsense adds up to this. So it's not a surprise to me. It really isn't.
And then one more. We obviously know James Comey. We're starting to learn about Maureen Comey. I've never heard of this guy. What is his name? Nicholas.
Yeah, that's that guy that he was in the jail.
Targlione.
Jail.
So what? You trust him?
What? Here's my question to you. What does he have to? You're not going to get out of jail free.
No,
you're not losing any time. He's just saying that this is what they offered him when he was in prison with them. This is what he found out. And by the way, there was a document that I saw, a government document, Adam, where they're taking all these notes. Yeah, I believe, Adam. Just because, Adam, hold on. Ready for this? If I killed somebody and I had to kill somebody, or I murdered somebody, you're just not supposed to believe me anymore because I made one crime, so that means I'm lying about stuff. No, he admitted that he's a murderer.
Yeah, he murdered 4 people. He's in jail for life.
So he can never tell the truth. He can't tell the truth about something he saw in his jail cell and a conversation he had with a pedophile.
It's notoriously known. They call it a jailhouse informant, that this is some of the least reliable evidence in court. The least. Why? You might be saying, well, why? He's in jail for life. Well, if you're in jail for life, you'd be willing to say anything and do anything to get the hell out, would you not?
You can never get out. Hold on, ready for this?
Hear me out.
Zero.
Hear me out.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, Rob, I'm sure you could chat GPT. I'm just going to go reduce sentences, money, maybe drop charges, lessening charges, a million different reasons that a jailhouse informant, a cellmate would be like, here's my moment. In fact, and you can fact check this, I'm assuming that a jailhouse informant, a cellmate, is some of the least credible evidence in a court of law. I'd love you to fact check that. So to me, once I hear cellmate, I'm like, I don't believe this guy. The dude who murdered 4 people.
Adam, do you know?
All of a sudden, he's your star witness.
Adam, do you know how many cases? Because I watched the first 48 and all these murder mysteries.
Yeah.
Do you know how many times the person opened their mouth to their cellmate and they're the ones that ratted them out and they confess to them, or the phone calls that they make in the jail? Adam, the situation is. Epstein's cellmate said that New York prosecutors, Maureen Comey, offered him a deal. He's sharing a jail cell with the pedophile. He knows what conversations are happening. Adam, you're in there with the guy 24/7. He's not making stuff.
Yeah, but
he's
it's
saying
not
that they
like Epstein
offered
needs to tell this guy anything. I mean, look.
What do you mean, Epstein? Adam, do you ever shell
You know how they
a
say
jail
trust
cell?
but verify? Bro, I don't trust this guy at all, and I'd verify everything he's doing. Look, Rob, what does it say? I can't see this thing.
Jailhouse informant testimony can be used in court, but it is widely considered one of the least reliable forms of evidence.
Bingo, bro.
Okay.
You can't trust this. Quadruple murder. You're like, I believe that guy. He has my vote.
Let me ask you a question, though. You're sharing a jail cell, you, Adam, and you're a murderer with Jeffrey Epstein.
No.
You with Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
You're not hearing what you hold on, meaning Jeffrey Epstein goes and talks to his lawyers and the federal prosecutors and then comes in his jail cell, Adam, and is doing this. No, you talk to that's your new best friend, Adam.
Okay,
no,
sure.
So my
you don't think Jeffrey Epstein kept in contact with the outside world? You think there was this one guy
they're
that was
in jail?
like,
How
bro,
long,
you're my.
How long do you think they were in jail, Adam? How long do you think they were in jail together in the cell, sharing the cell, all day? So my question to you:
this guy murdered 4 people.
Adam,
we're like, star witness, bro.
No, I didn't say star witness.
I think we're missing a couple of points here. I mean, first of all, let's not debate the jailhouse snitch. We can read about that all the time. The story is coming out that, and there's a lot of people that alleged that Comey was more than a little nepotistic getting his daughter into the family business, which was federal prosecuting.
Weird.
Okay. And Comey was also right there with a lot of people that were trying to take down Trump.
Forever.
So the notion, Adam, that they're looking for any and everything that can help them take down Trump is not a stretch.
That's where I was
it's
going.
not an assumption. It's out there. Was this particular guy in jail going to be the most credible way to do it? No, to your point, because, hey, it says right here, they have to tell the jury.
Yeah,
he may get leniency. He may get a better cell.
The guy
he may
that
get
kidnapped
this.
4 guys on a dirty cop drug deal that went bad over $250,000 and killed the 4 people and buried them under his property?
Step back from that.
I believe that guy.
Adam.
What?
The story is, it's pretty, there's a lot of allegations
Vinny,
here.
I want to sell you this beautiful piece of property in
the
the Everglades right here. Trust me,
Hold
bro.
on. Do you know what point he's making?
Adam, don't do that. Why do that?
Talking to Vin.
I know, but do you know what point he's making?
You're not talking
Adam,
to Vinny.
so you mean to tell
Tom,
me?
you want to go, bro? You want to end up in a quadruple?
Adam,
Just kidding.
Oh,
Adam,
yeah. Change
Tom, I'm
the
kidding.
endpoint. Change the
Go,
endpoint.
Adam.
How? Wow, that's what
Tom,
a great way
I'm
to
kidding,
debate.
buddy.
I'm just trying to take it back to the story. Is it conceivable
Back
that
in the
Comey
time.
and company were trying to use any and everything to go after Trump? Yes.
I believe that.
Have a lot of people
I believe that.
said,
I'm saying I don't believe the
have a lot of
murderer.
people said that he
I'm going to go out on a limb here, guys, and say the quadruple murderer doesn't have the highest credibility.
I know we want to move on to another story. If you think it's not conceivable,
we've only been 45 minutes on this one. Let's use the whole podcast. Hell,
that the guy. Russia collusion, everything
Rob,
you
let's
name
go
it.
to Starbucks.
Comey, FBI, all that guy trying to take down Trump. That guy, his daughter wouldn't go to a pedophile and say, "Hey, listen, just say this, and we want to get Trump, and we'll help." Hold on,
I believe you. I just don't believe the quadruple murderer guy.
Guys,
well, that's you.
Pat, you want to weigh in on this?
Yeah, let's look. Here's where I'm at. When something happens, I get intel from everybody. If an issue happens at the company that we got to address, like let's just say a crisis takes place. Some people have higher credibility scores than other ones. Like I literally put everybody's position in next to this guy's got a 2 score, 4 score, 8 score, 9 score, 10, 7, 6, 8, 9, and we learn everybody's motives and then we make a decision for ourselves. Does this guy have a high credibility score of what he's saying? Probably not. But is it somebody that you want to use the content and see what's going to be said? Yes. Do I believe Maureen Comey's capable of trying to find everything to destroy Trump on the 2024 election when that's the guy that they didn't want to go in there because they knew exactly what he was going to do that he's doing today? Yes. Do you think Obama wanted Trump to win in 2024? No. Do you think Comey wanted Trump to win 2024? No. Do you think Comey knew that if Trump would win that they're going to go after him to reveal the fact that all the shit he lied about? Yes.
Yeah.
Now, this is both of you could be right. And it's just like, let's see what happens. Let's see where they're going to go from here with these types of stories. This Epstein thing, more and more stuff that's being dropped. Verify, investigate, see if there's anybody else that would sit there and match it and say there's some truth behind it, and then we move on. That's where we are with this story here, and we can move on to the next story. Next one I want to get to is the following. Folks, if you're traveling, FAA is slashing 10% of U.S. flights in 40 major cities as historic government shutdown drags on. Rob, if you have the clip on this one here, if you want to play it, yeah, right there. This is what's going on. And by the way, can you actually see in the comment section, is anybody traveling? Did anybody actually ask a question? Has anyone's flight,
their plans,
has flight plan been canceled or affected today? If you say, I'm curious, even if it's less than 1%, if it's 82 people, I want to know if there's, just say no, it's not been canceled, and say yes if it has been. Tom, your thoughts on this story with what's going on? How big of a deal is this?
This is a very big deal. Apparently, on October 28th, ATC employees, air traffic control, received their last paycheck, and now they're in a non-pay position with the shutdown. So apparently some of them are not going to be coming to work, and they have to maintain the safety for Americans. You don't want an overworked ATC person working a 12-hour shift, especially if you have thunderstorms in Chicago or in Dallas, and they're trying to direct the safety of all those flights going to land. So now they're like, and I'm pretty sure, I'm 99% certain that what I read in my research this morning was that October 28th is when the first paycheck that they won't get, not their last paycheck, that's going to be the one they don't get. So they're not asking them, Pat, to work for free. And they're saying, those of you that are going to work, great, but some of you aren't going to be here because you're not working for free. That means, guess what? We got to have fewer flights. Airlines, how you do it is up to you with how many tickets have been bought. And you're sure if they're flying a flight from Dallas to Fort Lauderdale and that's always full 3 times a day, that one's still there. But the flights that were at 20% full, 10% full, those are the ones that the airlines are going to say, okay, I got to take so many flights out of Dallas. Where are my lightest loads or lightest flights? And so they're going to do that. And it's kind of a warning to America that says, hey, not a warning to America, a warning to all of us and our Congress, hey, this is about to get real, because the FAA also said, Pat, you ready for this? You know what the next percentage they mentioned? 50%, that 7 days later, after this first 10%, they could be talking about 50% because of the air traffic control people that are not going to be working for free without a check. And so now then, who controls this?
Chuck Schumer and the Democrats.
Okay, not the shutdown. ATC, my understanding, falls under the purview that rolls up to the president through one of the cabinets. And so the president could allow the pinch to happen to get the Dems to negotiate with him, or could just step back and let the pain there. But I think Trump's going to use this to negotiate, Pat. That's what I think. Because 50% coming, I think that's the number they want everybody to hear. 10% of the flights this week, because some of these guys got their last
Rob,
check.
can you play this clip? Watch this clip here. Go for it.
There is going to be a 10% reduction in capacity at 40 of our locations. The administrator is going to tell you that this is data-based. This is not based on what airline travels, has more flights out of what location. This is about where is the pressure and how do we alleviate the pressure. And so I want to thank him for, him. In regard to air traffic control, we've had a conversation over the course of the last month about some of the challenges that we're having in the airspace. Many of you know that we are 2,000 controllers short, air traffic controllers short, and we have surged our academy to bring more controllers into our system. We are 20% up in controllers through the academy thus far this year. I've also offered air traffic controllers who are of the age of retirement a 20% upfront cash bonus to actually stay on. Some of the best controllers we have don't retire, keep working for us. All of that has been reducing the pressure on the staffing side of air traffic control. It's working, but it takes years to bring more well-trained certified controllers into the airspace. The shutdown is having an impact on our ability to maintain those numbers and dent that 2,000 shortage that we have.
That doesn't make me want to fly, make me feel safer flying at all right now.
It's not like Boeing flights are falling out of the sky for no reason.
Planes are falling off? No, but I'm not like, why would you want to fly right now with Dumb and Dumber? With people that are, imagine that, like, yeah, no, I'm going to put in an extra couple hours and I'm not going to get paid. And
what he didn't talk about is
no.
October 28th. A bunch of them aren't going to get a paycheck. So he's saying, remember all summer long you've been hearing about Newark? People say, don't fly into Newark.
Yes.
If there's a mere cloud in the sky that looks like a thunderstorm in New York, Newark gets a problem. Remember we saw these talking about Newark? Well, that's because of what he's talking about. But the punchline is, hey, look, we got people retiring. We're trying to get people trained. There's been stress in the system. And now some of them are going to stay home because they can't get paid.
No.
We need a 10%. We need a 10% reduction.
Let me ask you. I mean,
so it was already hanging by a thread.
Tom, let me ask you. You're the expert on this one. Has the government shutdown affected your life even one iota?
My sister's not working. Oh, sorry.
You?
No, I've heard about things like this.
For you?
Me personally, no. But me personally, yes.
So, I'm saying you personally.
No, my family, no. But I know of people like Vinny's sister who work for the government and are now in a waiting game on their paychecks.
So it's affected you how?
Affected me with my sister, who's literally, she can't go anywhere. She can't leave because they could, the next day.
She does what? She's Space Force?
She works at Space Force.
Space Force, ladies and gentlemen.
Very
it's a
big
real
deal.
thing.
And then Adam, I mean, this is affecting flights, and if I do stand up and I can't leave.
Has the government shutdown affected your life at all?
But I'm not everybody.
I'm just saying for you.
It may if people that need to travel can't travel.
Bingo.
Like this weekend, PHP event, I got stuff that I'm doing. They're traveling in here today. They should be able to travel.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not going to affect us. 10% won't. If they go to 100%, 50%, 60%, I mean, you're going to feel it. So now, a lot of times certain things happen and you may just sit there and say, it's not doing anything for me, so who gives a shit?
Exactly.
But that's not how life works. You don't have, you don't have kids. So imagine if all kids are shut down in America. How are you impacted?
No,
You're not. So you have to be paying attention to how it's.
That's ultimately my point, is that up until now, the government shutdown hasn't affected average people, normal people, what have you. But when you start missing flights, you start to say, whoa, what's going on
Now
here?
it's starting to hit.
10% of flights. All of a sudden, 50% of flights.
Tom said
all
7
of a sudden,
days. 50.
When average people start waking up that have zero care in the
Pat,
world
I
for the
think we have
government
a
shutdown.
poll. We got like almost
is when
3,000 votes in our poll now.
Has your flight been? Look at that.
Wow.
2,500 votes.
Or no, not 20%. That's 500 people.
Yep. 500.
500 people.
Or affected due to government shutdown. There you go. It started. This is the pinch.
This is where you're going to start to get the pressure to like.
And Pat, can I ask you guys
you're affecting average people.
Pat, what do you think?
Flights.
Tom, honestly, you, all three of you. What is going to be the moment? Because they're not. It doesn't seem like they're budging anytime soon. Trump is not going to give in ever. He's not going to give an inch, especially when all this billions and billions is going to go to illegals and all this program. How long is this thing going to go? Because I don't see any like daylight.
Go back and look at the history of shutdowns. These are the pinch points that you need to get our elected officials to Congress to cut a deal together.
Can I ask you a question? So let me ask you a question.
I mispronounced officials
Tom,
and I said imbeciles.
So all the airlines, Boeing, all these places, are these like normally the CEOs? Are they woke type people? Because they're going to be making phone calls to their donors, right? They're freaking lobbyists. Like, yo, dude.
Let me tell you, the president of every airline is a capitalist who looks at his stock ticker every morning.
Okay, so they're more conservative.
No, they're capitalists.
They're
They make money.
capitalists.
Exactly.
You can be in favor of your stock and your job and still be a liberal.
But what I'm saying is, are they making phone calls to their representative like, yo, listen, like this is, you guys are starting to affect our wallets?
I would say airlines now are like, hey man, this is about to affect us.
Yeah.
You're not going to like this.
How much? So right now it's just who can tolerate most pain.
That's it.
It's already the longest record-breaking shutdown we've had. Who can tolerate most pain?
Did they break the record?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, broke the record 2 days ago.
Congratulations, guys.
Broke the record 2 days ago. All right, let's go to the next story.
Beat your prayer best.
Stephen Colbert insists he's more conservative than people might think and not a lefty figure. We have to believe him, right? You know, this guy doesn't have four murders like Taglioni.
All of a sudden,
we have to believe him because according to Adam's theory, he ain't lying.
But he's wearing the glasses.
100% telling the truth.
He's wearing the glasses.
Here's Stephen Colbert. Go ahead, folks.
Go ahead, Rob.
And the demographics of these shows are interesting too.
Huh.
It's about a third, a third, a third. It's about a third Republicans, third Democrats, third
Sounds
independents.
very
You think, old, people perceive me as this sort of lefty figure. I think I'm more conservative than people think. I just happen to be talking about a government in extremis.
Yeah.
And so what I'm giving you is my reaction video to the day.
Adam, do you believe him?
Well, listen,
you have to believe him. This guy's
he's not a murderer.
He said it.
But he hates Trump.
Well, of course, he's just an average, moderate guy who only has 99% of his guests being on the left, that only dismantles Trump left and right, that does shimmies for COVID syringe vaccines. Of course, he's a conservative guy. Listen, Stephen Colbert, you could say what you want. I actually think Stephen Colbert is immensely talented, but he has been completely absorbed by the left. And he's perception is reality. I think when he did the Colbert Report and he portrayed this conservative guy,
is going a very different angle, homie.
Okay.
Folks, forgive Adam's naivete and support for Mr. Colbert, because Tom is about to give you a very different theory.
To be honest with you, I thought it was Rachel Maddow that I was looking
going
at.
on. By the way, he did say
What's
something.
the difference?
Here's what he did say. He says, I don't generally say or do things that I don't mean on the shows unless I'm in character, like a sketch. Tom, do you believe him?
No. I believe that what's going on right now, and also in a related story, CNN anchor has been pushing back on liberal critics. My job is not to take down Trump, says Caitlin Collins. She was on a podcast on Wednesday, or speaking to somebody on Wednesday.
Hassan Minaj.
Yeah, exactly.
Nicki Minaj is
what the moment showed was there was a lot of support for Trump. And I think it was jarring for some people to remember that maybe to see that reality of our job is not to sanitize things when I say, well, this is what you want the narrative to be. No, this is what you want to happen. No. Oh my gosh, give me a break.
Is this the Barry Weiss effect?
No, she is Caitlin Collins. Yes, it's the Barry Weiss effect, and it's also you're not effing profitable effect, and it's also you're not getting a lot of audience effect, and it's a lot of, there may be liberals in the CEO chairs, but they also have to look at profitability and running a profitable network. And ESPN has been cutting higher priced sports anchors for 2.5 years, saying that they have to get to a more economic outcome because they have to pay billions to get access to sports, so they can't afford to have all these anchors with this. This has been going on. I think everybody is running for cover, trying to appear a little bit more neutral, a little bit more objective, a little bit more to the center. They're all trying to do it. Remember Colbert, everybody's been threatening about his show being canceled. Oh, do you think it's going to get canceled? And then they're trying to spin it. Never mind, it's been losing money, and we've seen all the stats on that.
It was canceled. Colbert was canceled.
Right. Yeah. It says so, but I'm saying, never mind all that. Never mind all that. Oh, I'm not such a bad guy. Yeah. I want to be back on. I want to be over here. That's what's going on. They're all sanitizing history and putting a spin on history because they see what's coming. And by the way, the funny thing about Caitlin Collins, she's kind of on a rookie contract. She's not on an Anderson Cooper contract. So, and basically, when they offered it for sale, there were leaks and supposedlies that Zaz was at the Allen conference in Idaho telling people, and by the way, we'll take care of some of the expensive contracts, but remember, Caitlin's on a more economic contract. Yeah, of course. So he was actually telling people, hey, if you like her, she's young, she's in a demographic, and she's on a better deal. You don't think they were saying that?
You know who Caitlin Collins should call, by the way.
You don't think that they all know this? You don't think they're all sitting back saying...
What's this rap? Is this the one that she says, my job isn't to... Go ahead and play this.
What that moment showed was there was still a lot of support for Donald Trump. And I think it was jarring for some people to remember that maybe and to see that. But that was reality. And our job is not to sanitize things and say, well, this is what you want the narrative to be, or this is what you want to happen.
Look at the smugness.
Our job is just to cover it as it happens and to show you what that was. And I think that town hall showed people that. Like, my job is like not to take down Trump.
Yes,
I'm a reporter and an anchor.
Yeah, with an earpiece and a producer.
She's
Let's add
lying,
that.
sitting there next to another liar, Hassan Minhaj. You remember the anthrax story that he said that he claimed white powder was sent to his house and he opened it and it spilled on his daughter and then went to the ER? Turns out he was full of poo-poo. Like, I don't, like, it's just
Watch
nonsense.
your mouth, Vinny.
Yeah, like, Stephen Colbert saying that he's conservative is like Mike Tyson going, yeah, I'm a pacifist. No, you're not a pacifist. You're a fighter, bro.
Stop it,
like,
bro.
stop lying. And you nailed it. Rob's laughing.
They're
like,
all
you nailed
trying
it.
to
You nailed
spin.
it, Tom, because they're trying to come back because they know you're going
Did he
broke.
really fabricate the anthrax?
Anthrax story. Hassan Minhaj. That's the involving
What?
his young daughter. Yeah.
Next thing you're gonna tell me that Jussie Smollett didn't get assaulted by four Trump guys in Chicago.
Was it a skit, like a joke that he made up?
No.
If it's a joke, I mean, I get it.
No,
You're telling
absolutely not a joke.
The core incident of the story showing left the powder at his apartment, and this stand-up Minhaj claimed the powder was accidentally spilled into his daughter, leading to a frantic ritual in New York. However, in September 2020, Prophet Minhaj confessed that his daughter was never exposed to the powder and was not hospitalized. He had received an envelope with the white powder, but the dramatic details about his daughter and the hospital visit were invented for dramatic effect to highlight the emotional truth of the fear he and his family. Oh, okay.
Like, he's trying to be like,
it's a story.
But he's a pusher of Trump and racism, and the country was the worst. He's one of those.
Wasn't he the comedian that you do the dinner something? You know,
Yeah, he did the White House Correspondents' Dinner, I
8 years
believe,
ago or
when he said
6
the thing
years
about
ago.
Steve Bannon, and when he goes,
Yeah.
I do not see Steve Bannon. Nazi.
Yeah.
Steve Bannon.
Yeah.
And then he had a prom story. So in Homecoming King, he said a white classmate rejected him at prom because of his race, showing up with a white boy instead. But the woman involved later disputed, saying she turned him down well before the night of the dance. So it's like I don't believe any of these people. And for Stephen Colbert, give me a freaking break. I'll respect you more if you just stick to your guns and say we hate Trump. We get paid to hate Trump, even if we're losing money. It's Trump, 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 Trump. That's it.
Yeah, all I got to say is three things. Trump got paid settlements. Number
Yep.
one. Number two,
Big
these
ones.
networks are in media is unprofitable. Number three, there have been people losing their contracts and getting Jim Acosta, and people getting sent out to the backyard for going on 2.5 years now, especially at ESPN. Point three, Barry Weiss and the Ellisons, in Skydance. Point four, now they're seen saying, well, my job is not to take down Trump, is to do this. Well, I'm more in the center. There's one third is my audience. You're so full of crap.
There's
It's
no
not your
chance that a
audience.
third
Let me
of
go
his
to this.
audience is
a turd.
Let me go
across
to this
the
next story.
ideological
While
spectrum.
I'm going to this next story, you know some news?
Mm.
Rob Gargulia just passed 1,000 Manex. Rob,
Wow.
please put your tweet.
Wow,
Can you
Gargulia.
put your tweet?
Look at
This
that
is the
guy.
greatest
Wow.
profile picture in
Let
the
me
history
see
of
him.
This guy's
profile
definitely
pictures.
not a quadruple,
I love
you know what?
his three-piece suit.
Let me see this guy.
Look at
Rob
this.
looks
Look
like
at
a
Rob.
total
Look at
friendly
that,
guy. Invite him
guys.
over for
Look
Rob,
at
what's it
that.
called when the doctors look inside your
Rob,
rectal
I definitely
exam?
wanna
What's it called?
invite you over to my new
Colonoscopy.
cellmate.
Rob was getting a colonoscopy
Fantastic.
right there.
Go Manex.
Congrats, Rob.
Congratulate him. Just crossed 8,000
Nice.
Manex. Now, with that, the perfect transition for the next story
Yes.
is transgender person who used women's locker room
I
at
love
Gold's
these.
Gym, stole ex-wife's name. Rob, can you first start off with the lady who is in the gym screaming and hollering? I want you to start off
Tish
with that
Hyman.
because, at first you're like, what is she doing?
Yeah, why is she
Right,
mad?
watch this one. Go ahead, Rob.
Gold's Gym! Men! Grown men with big dicks in the women's locker room! And that's why I'm getting kicked out, and I want to make sure the girls know! The fuck?
Nobody cares. It's California.
I think she's a.
Everybody saw that man in the fucking locker room! No one's saying shit! And I'm fucking done with it! It's
Bingo.
fucking stupid! It's dangerous!
Okay, so
Me naked in front of a man without my permission.
Yeah.
I'm the one who gets
do you
kicked out.
do you're
She's
listen,
right.
I understand.
By the way,
Now, watch,
she's
pause
a
it.
lesbian. Just so we're clear, I think she came out and said, "I'm a lesbian. I'm part of
She
the."
is. She
Yeah, can you
is.
show her reaction afterwards
Who's
so we
this
can
guy?
show?
This
no,
is
no,
the-
Rob,
the-
show her interview, the African American lady. If you don't have it,
I'll find it.
yeah, she's talking about what happened and why she got kicked out, and she's like, "Listen, this doesn't make any sense. Like, what the hell is going on?" Okay. She's given her argument of what happened afterwards. There's a video of her explaining it. I don't know if you can find a clip or not. I'll try to find it, Rob. if you want to go to the next clip, whichever one you got, do you actually have the clip of the guy? That's
him.
This is the transgender at the gym.
Go ahead.
This guy.
How are you?
Did you tell me or not that women like to see dick?
I'm asking you a fucking question.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
Get out of the way now. No. Now he knows how to be a man, right? Now he knows how to be a man. Stay out of the women's locker room. We don't want it. He needs to have his gym membership revoked for that shit. And the woman
That's
told
the
you.
transgender woman?
Yes.
That guy?
Yes. We already filed reports. No.
That's fine. I want the video.
You can't get rid of me for this. I'm a woman.
They want to get rid of her. They're kicking her out.
What state is
and
this
look,
in?
he's going back in the woman's bathroom.
Wow.
California, Adam. Where
Are
are you?
This is in California?
Patrick,
I didn't see this clip.
He's California. This is
What city?
Gavin
What city?
Newsom's California.
Do you have a video of the transgender guy speaking afterwards? Like, because
He was on TMZ. They put him on TMZ, and he's like, "Listen, I haven't chopped it off." They asked him, "Have you gone through it yet?" He's like, "No, not yet." I think
Nobody goes full.
So, do you have the clip? This is
This is her?
yeah.
This is the lesbian woman.
She actually is a woman.
Okay, gotcha.
She could be a lesbian, but she's a woman.
fine. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I am woman. Hear me curse.
Republican or Democrat or anything, because I'm neither. I'm just a woman who's standing up for women's rights, and I don't give a fuck what you are. If you're a Republican, a Democrat, I don't care if you support Trump or Kamala. I don't give a fuck. All I need is people to come together for one thing. It's to help women, to save women. Women! Not fucking men with dicks and dresses. Women! Okay? Now, what do I think about trans? I don't fucking think about trans! I'm a fucking lady! I don't give a shit about trans! I don't give two fucks!
Well, you can
about-
possibly.
Listen, you know I don't condone that language.
Kindergarten Cop and realize boys have penises and women
girls have vaginas.
Yeah, so
I learned that when I was young.
Okay, go ahead, Rob. Go above it. Go above
This
it.
is her?
Right. No, the one above it, right there. That's the transgender. Look,
Where?
go zoom out.
That looks like me in a crop top.
That's supposed to be a woman. The one on the right.
The guy.
Rob, see if you can find the times that beer belly showed up on the sauce can.
Apparently, he has fully functioning junk, according to her.
I just got
is
him.
what she
I just
saw.
got
He did an interview.
Yeah, he was on TMZ.
Him did the interview?
I just
Can
got a
you
message.
find his interview on
TMZ.
Her.
I just got a message right now from somebody that works here. I don't want to give his name. I worked at Gold's Gym for about 3 years in downtown LA. They are notorious for letting guys use the women's bathroom. There was a guy I witnessed use the women's bathroom simply by wearing a crop top bra. And let me, Pat, so this guy, his real name is Grant Freeman. Freeman. He's now going by Alexis Black. He did all this, right? He has quite a record, Rob. You want to look it up. He was charged with multiple drug offenses, including trafficking, possession, failure to comply. He was charged with third-degree felony domestic violence and convicted in Ohio in November 2022 for, guess what? Brutally beating his ex-wife, breaking her jaw so badly she needed surgery. Now,
Stop it.
Now, yes, Rob, look up Grant Freeman. And by the way, he
now
beat
let's
her
be
up.
sure that we're connected here. So this in Ohio, this we have allegedly found a connection here, and multiple sources are seeing to point these. So we're reacting to these sources that this is the same guy's background.
Exactly. So so allegedly this is that he has the record. Rock. If you go on X and look
What
it up.
is his name?
Lives of TikTok did a
the
deep
guy
dive
in the
on him.
picture
What's the
there.
guy's
So
name?
the guy's name right now, his female name is Alexis Black, but his old name was Grant Freeman, Freeman.
And the sources we've seen is this is
That's
a
what the
report
sources that
coming
they're
out of
saying.
Ohio.
Coming out of Ohio, that they're saying, Rob, that this guy, Grant Freeman, was charged with beating his wife and giving him a Rob, did I send you the link of I think I slacked it to you.
Wow.
Yeah, so beating his wife,
Well,
and then he
this is
took
that-
her name.
If this
and then he
is
took her
that
name.
guy, and now he's Miss Black, and he was Mr. Freeman.
Yeah, hold on, Rob. I'll send
If
it to
this is that guy, that's.
God bless you.
sir.
Rob, do you have the TMZ interview? If you don't, I
can't-
found it.
Oh yeah, could you send that to me?
Yeah, it's on. I have it. Alexis Black, right there. I just send it to you, Rob, if you want to go through.
And I
it.
slacked you too, Rob.
So you should see he put makeup on and on to be ready for TMZ. Here's Alexis Black, folks. Or what's his real name? You said Tyrone. What was his real name?
Tyrone.
Tyrone.
Shoelaces.
Not come out of my nose.
Tyrone
What was his real name?
Shoelaces.
His real the real name allegedly is Grant Freeman, who now goes by the name Alexis Black, is his trans name, and that's his ex-girlfriend.
Let's go. Here's the company where they were celebrating Charlie Kirk's in a back that they didn't want to reveal the videos, and they never apologized for it. Go ahead, Rob.
Now is one of the people that that Tish says she confronted in the locker room. Her name is Alexis Black, and she's joining us now. Alexis, welcome to TMZ Live.
Hi. Hey, Alexis. So
me when I do costumes.
we spoke with Tish, and she said when she came face to face with you, it was obvious to her you were a man. So, you know, I don't want to get terribly graphic here, but can you kind of explain, you know, how you appeared? You know, do you believe that she was reading something in that you didn't appear to be male? She perceived you to be such. Well, first, I told the people that raised me that this is the way that I was when I was 8 years old, and really I stuffed it down pretty deep, and I began using hormones this year in February, and I actually relinquished that information to her about, you know, name change, and it says female on my ID, and hormones, and I mean, I'm registered as a female with the gym, so.
And were you at that moment, because she told us about a couple of different encounters, were you fully clothed at that moment?
Well, she has become aggressive with me on 4 different occasions, actually at different locations in Los Angeles at Gold's Gym. But
look at that vein on the neck. You know he benches 2 plates.
For sure. I believe I was enrobed in a towel on one occasion. And this last time I was closed the entire time.
Squat at least 3 plates.
Okay.
You know,
again,
I apologize if this is too graphic, but I just think it's important. Have you? Let's speak truth, baby. Okay. Have you fully transitioned?
Look at the excuse.
Be clearer when you say that. Your genitalia. That is a process that requires a quite lengthy work. Like, for instance, I sat in a chair and had hair follicles removed from my face for 2 hours yesterday in a process called electrolysis. In order to have that surgery
Rob, stop,
down.
please stop. I'm good.
I've had enough.
Okay, yeah.
So Pat,
do you have that picture?
So Rob, I sent you what I sent you. So Pat,
those are suspicious answers. He didn't say.
Is that her right there, Vinny?
Him.
So this is him, she,
Hold
him.
on. Scroll down.
This is what Libs of TikTok put out, that this is the guy that has the domestic abuse. Looks pretty much like him without all the hair on his face.
Well, he did the.
So multiple sources are connecting this guy back in his Ohio time as Grant Freeman. Apparently, you know, according to this, there's a mugshot.
So
and
Pat,
there's
Tish
an
Hyman,
arrest.
the black girl right there, that she posted something saying Grant Freeman, 32 years old, date of birth 2/28/1993, from Sentencing County, Hamilton, Lebanon Correctional, Ohio, failed to comply, drug trafficking, and he has an assault charge.
And so this is sentencing information in Department of Corrections. So we're not supposing here.
Yeah.
The formal Grant Thornton comes out to L.A. and it is now in these altercations with this very upset woman, and you can imagine why she's upset if she's encountering an individual who hasn't transitioned and says, "Hey, that's male genitalia. That's junk there, and you're in here showering with us." And if you still got your junk, you still have your capability of rape, and so why wouldn't she be upset?
Yeah, and Gold Gym's stance is that people can use whatever locker room matches their gender identity. They don't care about safety. They don't care about dingalings hanging out. Just more of the same nonsense. Like right when you think we're done. California has to prove that they're not stopping.
Well, this is the Chappelle joke. This was the whole thing. He's like, listen, we're good with the L's, we're good with the G's, we're good with the B's, or the Q's, or the T's. The T's are making everything a little bit more challenging.
What do you mean a little bit?
I know you have a black lesbian basically going ham on the T
dude,
community, being like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And you have some dude, literal dude, who shaves his face, puts on some lipstick, and he's like, what do you mean?
Yeah, I'm one
of you guys.
How transition do you mean?
Forget that I have a bulge and everything.
No.
It's just
beyond bulge.
California.
Not good.
Never mind that. He's got a criminal record for assault against other humans.
That's assault, brother.
That's Grant Freeman.
Yeah. I mean, that That's what
He's
it
a
says.
Free man.
Today he saw me walk into the woman's room, followed me, and called me a bitch.
And
I ran out of the crying and screaming. Wow.
Shout out to Mario.
Wow. Okay, all right, let's keep...
What does the bottom say, Rob?
Let's...
Screaming.
No, I don't want to see the rest.
it
Sounds
doesn't.
good.
Yeah.
At this point, we got it out of
We
our
get it, we
system,
get it, we
guys.
get
We're going to be okay. Next story I want to get to before we wrap up is 2 stories. Next one is McDonald's. U.S. sales rise, but profits fall short as it warns Americans are dining out less. Okay, so if we go, Rob, do me a favor, put a poll, say, are you dining out less than you were 5 years ago? Okay, just maybe not even 5 years ago. Are you dining out less than you were in 2019? Okay, let's see what they're going to say. McDonald's saw a key sales metric jump in third quarter as it doubled down on discount meals, but it fell short on earnings as it warned anxious Americans have cut back on dining out. U.S. same stores increased 2.4% for a second straight quarter. That beat estimates of a 1.9% rise, though McDonald's attributed this to a larger average check, implying diners are paying more for their meals despite the fast food industry value wars. Overall, the same store sales rose 3.6%, revisiting a decline of 1.5% previous year. McDonald's CEO Chris Kempczinski said that the results are a testament to our ability to deliver sustainable growth even in a challenging environment. Shares in world's largest fast food chain jumped 2% Wednesday morning, but the Golden Arches continue to warn that Americans are dining out less often, especially on low-income diners. We continue to see a bifurcated consumer base with traffic from lower-income customers declining nearly double digits in the third quarter, a trend that's persisted for nearly 2 years. Wow, that's pretty interesting, Rob, when you see that. So, Tom, thoughts on this story with McDonald's? Rob, I want to see the poll in a minute as well, if you don't mind. But go ahead, Tom.
Okay, so the first thing is McDonald's has seen the sales rise. That's the revenue number.
Yeah.
So they're seeing the revenue go up. And if you've been into McDonald's or you've seen them, you can see that the prices of number 1 to 8, the meal deals that are up there, is up. And so inflation has reached McDonald's, and not just yesterday, but over the last 3 years. And it's very, very real. So fewer low income are coming in for basics. And that's been going on, they said, for 2 years, dating back to the Biden administrations and the Biden inflation that came out of the Biden economy, which was the fault of Joe Biden. So you see that's been going on for 2 years, and they're warning and saying, hey, look, low-income people are coming in less and less, and our sales are being driven because our top-line sales number is up, because following inflation, we had to raise our prices a bit, and those diners are still here, but when they say bifurcated, they're saying there's 2 sides of society. There's people that can afford what's the inflation that's happened, and they're still here, and our revenue numbers up a little bit, and therefore their stocks up a little bit. But America, the lower income people are coming in less and less, and this has been going on for 2 years, which shows the stress that the low end people are under. We need paying jobs. We need the things that Trump is putting in place, $1.5 trillion of investment by companies, coming to in America on factories, and we need those jobs to happen. And this is we're coming, and they're saying this is 2 years. So this has been going on for 2 years, and Trump's not going to get it turned around in 9 months.
No.
But what it shows is that there's 2 sides to America going on right now, and it's real, and it's affordability, and it's the exit result of the Biden inflation. But we got to recover, and there's a new sheriff in town, and he needs time for a lot of policies to help.
Rob, what's the poll looking like? Let's look at the poll. What are people saying about if they're dining out less? Oh, they are. Huh. Interesting. And that's our audience saying this. It's a very interesting, the fact that people are dining out less than they were in 2019.
Pre-COVID, right?
Yeah, that's why I asked the question pre-COVID. Why are they dining out less than 2019? Can you go to McDonald's just to see what the prices are nowadays? Let's just go to McDonald's menu and prices. Is there does it show us prices or not at all?
Image? Yeah, get an image of the 1 to 8, Rob,
I don't know, but I'm getting real hungry
that
right
Big
now.
Mac. Last time I had a Big Mac was September of 97. Let me tell you, that looks...
You haven't had a Big Mac since 97?
September of 97.
Oh, you're missing out, Pat. You got to live a little bit. Trump can hook you up.
Look at that right there. What is it? Big Mac? Are you joking?
How much?
Does it say $8.39?
$8.39
for the meal.
No,
just for
the
the
sandwich
For the
That's just for the
burger.
burger.
I could make you a
Quarter
gourmet.
pounder is $8.
How much is the
Chicken-
McDouble though? How much
Wait,
is it?
The heart attacks
Chicken
for free.
McNuggets is $8.39.
No way. No way. That has to come with a combo.
Rob, can you go back and let's just see what these prices were 20 years ago? Is there a way to do that?
Or just say, what about 2019?
Yeah, maybe go to 2019. How much have prices of how much has prices of a Big Mac at McDonald's increased the last 6 years?
And just FYI, I got another message. Deli said Uber Eats and delivery apps have better deals than if you go in person. It's better if you stay home and order it.
So 21% is by year, though. Because if it goes from, it's not $5.29 today. Well, on their website, it says $8. So $4.39 was the price in 2019. Go on the website. Rob, are you sure that's just the price for the Big Mac, or is that a meal? Let's see if it's read more.
Read more.
Man, that's got to be
McDonald's.
the meal.
No, that's the classic beef.
Big
Nutrition.
Mac price $6.72.
Okay.
So
Still.
672 from what number was it before?
Four something in 2019.
And what was it? What was it in
That's
2000
50%,
and what was it in 2015? Because that's 10 years.
I won't say 275.
What was it in 2015?
What?
Okay, so that's relatively the same. Go to 1999.
A lot of people.
Prince. Go to 1999.
You have a lot of people that are going to buy Big Macs today because of this.
Let's see this one. 1999 was $2.45.
Wow.
Listen, if we can go back to 1999 prices, I'll buy a Big Mac.
Let's go.
But I can't do the $6 stuff.
You don't
It's out
take
of
your
control.
kids. You don't take your kids to McDonald's.
What, to give them poison nuggets?
No.
What? You want to give them poison,
Your
bro?
kids don't get Happy Meals.
Are you actually being serious?
I'm being serious. Your kids don't go to McDonald's.
Listen.
Have you seen how in shape his kids are?
Believe me, Tico kicks my ass.
Dylan's calves are bigger than my
I've
biceps.
seen 'em.
This guy's all. You think he's eating nuggets,
Okay,
dude?
hold on. But
what are you nuts?
The kid. You're telling me that Senna's like, I want a Happy Meal. She doesn't get it.
In Dallas, maybe. I don't. Let me actually.
You take him to
ask-
In-N-Out Burger.
let
I've been
me
to In-N-Out
ask-
Burger.
That's a whole
I'm
different
gonna ask
situation,
Jen,
Adam. In-N-Out Burger.
How often in the last 90 days have you taken the kids to McDonald's? I'm actually
great
not
question.
curious. By the way, let's see what's going on.
I saw
Guys, a
90
fight's
days?
about to break out live.
By the way,
sorry,
I don't know if you guys shout out to McDonald's though. I saw somebody take a Big Mac and they put it like in a glass case and put it in the attic for 9 years. Nothing changed. Nothing happened. And then they poured like hot smoldering lava on the bun. It just flew right off.
That's true.
That's not good, Adam. Lava should go through
What
a Big
is that,
Mac.
Rob? The index that I think Humberto sent, is that showing like what the prices are?
Yeah, across different countries.
Let me see it. Zoom in a little bit from the highest to the lowest. Switzerland's the highest. Argentina, Uruguay, we are the 6th highest. Who's the lowest?
Royale with cheese.
Go all the way to the bottom.
North
to see-
Korea, they use a rat.
Taiwan.
So dumb.
India's 262. India's 262. Interesting. 262 in India. So-
Probably not a lot of beef in that
Look at
thing in
Ukraine.
India.
Look at Ukraine. See, things are looking up in Ukraine. Big Mac,
Yeah.
286.
Okay, there you go. So that's McDonald's for you.
So did Jed answer the question?
You know, in India, is
Hasn't
there beef
yet,
in
yeah.
this?
So-
What?
But
yeah. So
what do you think the answer is? Because I don't want to leave our audience hanging.
I want to say 3 times maybe in the last 90 days.
Okay, all right.
4
That's
times
once a
in
month.
the last 90 days.
That's fair.
It has to be a special. First of all, do you know what time Dylan went to sleep last night? 1 a.m.
What's that guy doing?
Guys, the guy had 4 hours of homework to do after his soccer practice was done at 9:45. We stayed up till 1 a.m. Like
I mean, he's
he
doing
come,
it.
he would. But first of all, he did hour and a half tutoring right after school to finish up his homework, and then another 3 hours last night. By the way, the kid will not go until he wraps up his.
That's great. You know what he deserves for all that respect?
I'll
tell you a Big Mac.
Happy Meal, bro.
No,
Hook that kid up.
I will take him to some other places, but we ain't going to the Big Mac daddy type of stuff.
Dylan, keep doing your homework, buddy.
Yeah. All right.
Uncle Adam's going to take you for a Happy Meal.
Oh, wow. Look what Jen said. I want
What'd
you
you
to see the
say?
text. What's the answer? What's the answer?
0.
Good.
What does she say next?
When are you coming home, Daddy? Oh, sorry.
So stupid.
Daddy's home.
Daddy's home.
Maybe once a year.
Maybe once a year.
Wow, Jen. Good for you.
Yeah.
Just to clear the air here, are you just anti-McDonald's? Are you anti-bad fast food?
No,
Are
we
you
made
anti-
a decision a few years ago to try
was
to
that?
make the diet for the kids better. Our kids haven't had cereal for almost 3 years.
And like I said, they
Not
look
one
in shape.
cereal in 3 years. One cereal for 3 years.
Hey.
By the way, I love my Cocoa Krispies.
Oh.
Is the Cocoa's a chocolatey?
Fruity Pebbles.
Stop it.
Cinnamon
Cocoa
Toast Crunch.
Krispies
Don't
right
get
now.
me started.
Stop.
But by the way,
Stay focused, guys.
But Brooklyn
Yesterday's
does get her
cheesecake.
ice cream, though.
Yeah,
Brooklyn
one
does get her
scoop.
ice
And she
cream.
dances
Brooklyn
while
does.
she
Can we
eats
give a
it.
shout out to our restaurant
is.
yesterday in Miami, Sexy Fish?
Sexy fish.
Forget about
Well,
it.
they
It's
knew
really
a guy at the table was going to jail, and they kept him.
Yeah, one of our friends is
See
going
you
to
guys
prison.
when I get
By
out,
the way, do you
fellas.
have that skit of you guys in the bathroom?
Who has it?
I have.
So
Adam
check
has
this
it.
out.
That's
I
Rob.
tell these guys, I don't know if you guys been to Sexy Fish. Shout out to those guys.
Send
They're
it to
great
Rob.
guys.
I'll get to Rob.
So right after America Business Forum, I'm done. We go over there to eat some good sushi. And I go upstairs in the bathroom, and I'm like, what the hell is... Guys, you know how you go to the bathroom and there's a guy that's asking for
What is that
money?
guy called?
Yeah,
Just
I
a
don't know what
bathroom
you
attendant.
$5 you paid.
Yeah.
This guy had an attitude. By the way, he pissed Vinny off because of what happened in the past. Apparently, you guys had a connection from previously what he had done to you,
We
which
dated
was
the same girl.
Do you guys have this clip or not?
Yeah, I just sent it to Rob. It was an unfortunate
Okay,
case.
so
I'm sorry, Vinny
are
had
you
to deal
comfortable
with
with
this,
me showing this? I don't want to put you in a position like this.
I
'cause
just I
I'm-
don't like awkward moments. Number
the
one,
fact
when
that
they're in
I
the
brought it up,
bathroom.
I don't even want to bring it up. Let's just move on. If you're good
No,
with
that's
showing
fine.
it,
That's fine. That's fine. You can show it.
which one is this? Is it
It's the first
That's the
one.
first
Yeah,
one.
I'm
Okay,
sorry
all
about
right.
this,
So go
Vinny.
ahead, Rob.
Dude, it's not even worth it. I told you to just chill with Vinny. He's an emotional guy. Just take
Look at him. Look at him staring
Why'd
at
you
me.
staring at me like that? Why is he staring at me like that? Chill, dude. I'm trying to sleep with everybody's girl, bro. I'm tired of that shit. Look at him. He's scuba though. He's scuba though. No, but he's cool like that. He's not like that, bro. Stop, man.
See, Daniel Craig just giving me the meme mug. Always trying to hook up with everybody's girl. He's just in there all day.
By the way,
judging.
Rob, I don't know if you
here's
have
the
that
thing.
second video.
The
Look at these
moment
desserts
you
here.
walk in to the place, you see that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
So
scared the hell
what
out
is
of
this
me.
place called? Bluefish?
Sexy Fish.
Sexy Fish.
Can I give Vinny a quick little shout out?
Here we go, guys.
We're there at what time were we there? 3 o'clock?
3?
Yeah, 3 o'clock.
okay.
It took
So-
us 10 minutes to get there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Mateo was totally right.
Jessica was the waitress, and she was
great.
quick.
And she goes, if you don't like
You
my
were like
service, call me
busting
Melissa.
Mateo. He's trying to do his job.
I
dude.
love Mateo.
Come
I'm
on.
kidding.
First of
But
all,
Vinny goes,
if there was a fight, I do think Mateo can hang.
Oh, Mateo's
I think Mateo can hang.
gangster.
But go ahead. No, go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
got no issues with Mateo. He just
Go
his
ahead.
timing.
He loves both of your balls.
10 minutes. Go
Vinny
ahead.
goes, dude,
Yeah.
the women here. By the way, it's Brickell, Miami, downtown. I'm like,
That's what you're going to see on camera?
I'm just saying.
That's what
he
you're
goes,
gonna
the
say on
women
camera?
here, incredible. I go, Vinny, this is the 3 o'clock p.m. shift. And even the maitre d', the hospital, goes, wait till you come tonight at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, like I'm gonna hang out.
Vinny's like, I'll be fast asleep by then. I go,
Yeah, 10 o'clock. I'm
10 show up
dreaming.
at 10,
Can
the
we
3 show up
finish
at
it
3.
up? Can you finish it up? We're just giving a shout out to Nancy Pelosi, the greatest trader in Congress ever. Her ability with the investment she made in her
We
career,
love you, Nancy.
life-changing. I don't think she gets enough credit. I think we do need to give her love. Rob, is this...
If she had been in charge of Social Security, it wouldn't be in this mess.
Yes.
Rob, what is this right now?
This is her announcing her retirement, and then I also have a clip of her talking about the president.
Did you intentionally pause the picture with
She
her
looks
lips?
like
Go
a
ahead,
who,
Rob.
you know,
Just
who?
play it. Go ahead, Rob.
She has no teeth.
I will not be seeking re-election to Congress.
No way.
With a grateful heart, I look forward to my final year of service as your proud representative. Thank you, San Francisco, for trusting me to be your voice in Congress.
Look at
May
San
God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America.
And then is this a one-on-one where she gives credit to Trump for her career and all the accomplishments? Go ahead, Rob.
He's just a vile creature, the worst thing on the face of the earth.
Wow.
But anyway,
You think he's the worst thing on the face of the earth?
I do. Yeah,
Look at
I do.
Why is that?
Because he's the president
New
of the United
surgeries, by the
States,
way.
and he
for
does
sure.
not honor the Constitution of the United States. In fact, he's turned the Supreme Court into a rogue court. He's abolished the House of Representatives. He's chilled.
Okay, so now, and then this is what Fetterman had to say, which nowadays Fetterman is a sound of reason on when it comes
really
out to
is.
stuff.
That's
Can you
so
imagine
crazy.
like Fetterman? If
The
you want
dude
some
in
reason, go to this guy.
Sweater.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I would say that's part of the worst creatures on the face of the earth are Hamas or like the leadership of Iran, or there's a lot of people on that. I would never use those kind of terms, and I wouldn't describe our president. You can really disagree with him, and I do disagree, but I don't think that's really entirely appropriate. But that's her words for that. So for me, that's just a different kinds of a Democrat for me. I don't going to call people they're fascists, they're Nazis, or compare the people in those kinds of terms.
Okay. President Trump said for almost 4 decades, he almost started it with 40 years ago because, you know, she's been around for a while. Nancy Pelosi has served the American people and worked to make their country better. No one was more skilled at bringing people together and getting legislation passed, and I will always be grateful for support on Affordable Care Act. She made us proud to be Democrats and will go down in history as one of the best speakers the House of Representatives has ever had. Nancy, thank you for your leadership and friendship. Michelle and I wish you and Paul the best in the next chapter. Tom, are you like, and I know this is sentimental to you, are you going to miss her?
No, I'm not going to miss her policies. I'm not going to miss her divisiveness. I'm not going to miss that side of it. I will say this, we need to turn to history and look at it as the female Speaker of the House. That was a huge accomplishment. As a young girl that wanted to rise up and serve in government, she made it there. She stayed there. We can say a lot of things about her portfolio, facts on the table. We can say a lot of things about her policies, facts on the table. And we can say we disagree with her. But the one element that I will give her credit for is a young girl wanted to go serve and wanted to make it, and she did. And what she did with that power when she got there, I don't think was entirely good for all of America. And I'm not going to miss her. But I'll give that balanced assessment. And I think one of the big accomplishments was also from her husband, Paul. You know, who knew that if your house is trying to be broken into at 2 a.m., you're supposed to pour drinks, take off your pants, and mingle? Most people go for the gun, you know.
That's where you're going to go?
So I will say this.
No. Let me take my pants off.
There are things that are odd, but I meant what I said about her. I mean, she became female Speaker of the House, and she had a lot of power there. I'm not going to miss her policies and the way and what she did with that.
Oh, her district is absolutely disgusting. If you look at her district, it's absolutely. There's people on the street. There's homeless people. Pat, this is Rob. You could just.
There's a lot of different report cards that are fact based.
Yeah, look at this, guys. This is a lady that's traveling to work daily in Tenderloin, San Francisco. This is her district, and it looks like a zombieville. People on the street, garbage in the streets. So this is Nancy Pelosi. All she can. And mind you, I give you credit, Tom, for saying that. Man, she did it for the Democratic cause and what they want and all the illegals and bowing down the BLM and all. She did a fantastic job, and she's been on the taxpayer roll for 38 years, earning a salary of $174,000 a year. She is leaving.
What was lower when she started? That's today.
Yeah, that's today. Her net worth in 1987 was $165,000. Guess what it was last year? $280 million. So you want to talk about vile creatures that cheat the system and do all the thing to get ahead. And meanwhile, her district of San Francisco looks like that. Ladies and gentlemen, Nancy Pelosi.
Boy, that kind of money, they could afford an alarm system at the house.
You
and
think
he wouldn't have had to answer
there
the door
you go.
and
Well, there you
pour
go.
drinks and all that.
Yeah.
Well,
Adam.
Listen, I'm not as hard on Nancy Pelosi as maybe you guys. I don't think I'm not a fan, but I will give her credit where credit's due. I think she's the first female Speaker of the House ever. She's been serving in Congress on 40 years?
38.
Crazy.
38, whatever.
Where I actually developed a little bit of respect for Nancy Pelosi was when she visited Taiwan. This was, I think, in 2022, and this was right at the height of China and this and that. And I think she or China warned her, do not go to Taiwan. Do not show that there's alignment with the U.S. and Taiwan. And Nancy Pelosi said, screw you, China. I'm going to do what I got to do. That was a gangster move on her end. There's obviously we could critique her on what's going on with the stock trade and everything. Yeah, there she was right there. That was a gangster move. I mean, we could rip her to shreds on a lot of things, especially, clap for Trump. But, there's some things that we abide by here at Valuetainment that Pat has taught us. PHP, you say outwork, out-improve, out-strategize, outlast. She's done all that. The one thing I would say that she probably has not necessarily done was out-improve, but she's definitely outworked, out-strategized, and outlasted a lot of the people out there in politics. And
it's not for everybody. Politics is nasty. You got to learn how to fight. It's dirty. And she's wrestled with the best, and she's been the nasty one as well.
Yeah.
Leading the way. But, we will wish her nothing but the best. I do want to show this question from Minek that was sent in there. Tom, I'm going to come to you with this one and see what you're going to be saying. So this is from Greg Van Leuven.
Nice
Greg Van Leuven. Great name. He says, one of my best friends was born and raised in the Bronx. Tom, I want a 2-minute answer. I don't want to be a long, and I'm going to show something before we wrap up.
Okay, I'll give my version of that, Adams.
Yeah, that's perfect. One of the best friends was born and raised in the Bronx and has been running a small business under 10 employees, doing tours in New York City over the last 10 years. For someone like him, where the politics governing the city makes a massive difference on their livelihood, but where he doesn't necessarily have the means to pick up and leave, what would your best advice be for him and his family over the next 4 years?
So if you're running a tour guide business in New York, everyone is not leaving. It's not going to become a ghost town. And you may need to adapt your product to the consumer. And perhaps you need to now move that tour guide to things that liberals would like to see. And remember, Michael Jordan said, Republicans buy sneakers too. So if you can't pick up and move because of the course of your business, you can respond to the market, and you don't have to like everything about the market. But as Michael Jordan said, Republicans buy sneakers too. I would adapt myself for the people that want to be there in New York and that maybe are coming to visit, and adapt your tours for them. And if you absolutely positively can't move and can't go anywhere else, that's where I would go. But I will say this, there's a tremendous amount of great stuff going on in Miami. And if you made it down to Miami and the tours that you could go on Miami and seeing what's happened down there, to the Freedom Tower that's at Miami-Dade College, which was a symbol for the people that came from Cuba, you can do it. But if you can't pick up and move, adapt yourself to the consumers that are there and do your best.
You could just learn a couple words if you're going to continue the tours. Just learn assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam, and then you just
and be like, here to the left, there's 1,000 people running in to get free groceries at the bodega. They're all beating the crap out of each other. Yeah, and then over here, they're all praying on the street.
Yeah.
Sorry,
in the
you
midst
can't
of
walk
this,
there.
Pat,
They get a comedy tour.
By the way, part of it made me think about the other day. I don't know why one of the girls wanted to watch the movie. Was it Breakup? Is it Breakup with Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston?
The best movie. I
you
love
know
that
what
movie.
they did in the movie? Vince Vaughn is a tour guide.
He's a tour guide.
Chicago.
The best.
We're going to take over Chicago by land, sea, and air.
And her girlfriend tells her, go to this clinic and ask for the Telly Savalas.
Oh yeah, that's right. And there's the Statue of Liberty. Yes, she does have a burqa on now. And then if you just look really close, lose yourself.
All right. Okay, we got out of control. Vince Vaughn always does this, man.
He's the man. We love you, Vince Vaughn. When you come on the show,
best
Vince
of
Vaughn.
the best of the best. Anyways, okay, gang, some good news for you guys. All of a sudden, we started getting all these asks with everything that was going on with what is the event that happened recently? The mafia was tied to the gambling. They said, Pat, is the mafia states of America out there? Can we find a way to get access to it? So here's what we're doing. If you haven't seen this is the first time where Sammy DeBulgravano and Michael Francis, after years of talking to both of them, agreed to do a sit-down of 2.5 days. The footage, we had 24 hours of footage that we put into 10 different episodes. They got in deep talking about politicians, their role, talking about what used to be illegal, that's now legal, being used by a lot of politicians. It was actually very, very insightful. And it was a first documentary series that we did. It did very, very well. But we're going to be releasing it on Spotify for free. But I want you to watch the trailer when we did this sit-down. Go ahead, Rob.
There's an old saying, it's better to beg forgiveness than ask permission. Well, La Cosa Nostra does neither. That's why Patrick Bet-David knew the story of La Cosa Nostra had to be told.
What is Cosa Nostra to you, and does it still have the same meaning today as it did back in the 80s?
He knew there were only 3 men alive who could do the story justice.
Cosa Nostra is an evil life.
We built cities, New York, Chicago, Vegas.
They infiltrated our politics, they infiltrated our businesses,
They infiltrated the church.
Betrayal happens all the time.
Is that inevitable?
It happens all the time.
For the first time anywhere, you will see a sit-down between two made men. Not just soldiers in the mob.
You're not me. You can't sit down with me.
But real bosses.
You're not the underboss anymore, my friend.
And the man that brought it all crashing down.
There are a few people that are genetically, inherently bad.
There were bodies flying all over the place. They found Joe Blow in a trunk.
45, 50 dead bodies all over Red Hook, Brooklyn.
Wow.
Don't point your finger at me.
Oh, what are you going to do?
What am I going to do? I'll break your face.
Sam, you always say, a lot of these mafia guys could have really accomplished a lot if they'd only gone straight. That's half true.
This is the real La Cosa Nostra.
This was a great project, man. Very exciting project. Rob, when are we releasing it?
This afternoon. It'll be up on the Valuetainment Spotify account. I just put the link in the description.
So first episode goes live this afternoon?
Yep.
6 o'clock.
Yes, and then we'll release the rest in the following week.
So each day you're going to release an episode that goes out, right?
Correct.
Because that's 10 of them.
Huh.
Fantastic.
Oh, wow,
so
really?
One of them will be released this afternoon on Spotify. For those of you guys that are interested, go watch it. Do not miss it. It's freaking amazing, amazing content. Having said that, Pierce Morgan interview should be coming out here soon as well with a few other announcements. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll do this again next week. God bless. Bye-bye, bye-bye.
Assalamu alaikum.